Hello, everybody. Welcome to Swim or Sink 169. We are off our maintenance, and that means we are ready to go with a match for you guys. But before I get ahead of myself, I am joined by the lovely Topic. Do come say hello.
Hello. We are here, as you said, with SOS 169, a very nice SOS, if one might say, as we have our round one match ready, as we have Los Inklings versus Abyss Angels. And Fufu, you said you know Los Inklings a little bit, right?
A little bit. I am familiar with some of the names on Los Inklings. Those Inklings have been a team that I have kind of, occasionally seen here and there. Some people I know are on there as well. The Tin Can, I know that person on the other team too. So there's players from both teams that I know. This is interesting. I'm gonna see how this is gonna turn out here for either of these teams, especially these being names that I already know. Especially because we're playing a little bit of Splatoon. We're playing Barnacle and Dime. I love Barnacle and Dime, but I think that's just a charger of me talking, to be honest.
I see Barnacle and Dime. I see Tetris Piece. Yeah, that's the only thing that runs through my mind. But especially after the update, it is a lot. After the rework, it is a lot better. I will say it is a lot more open, especially on the streets. You can have a lot more variety of getting in. You have to really pay attention to the little drop areas. Just anyone can just pop out of there. But also this map, you kind of get locked out super easily because I'm sure we've both seen that it's very, very hard to get out of a lockout situation.
Absolutely, especially considering that the enemy team can make it way into your base. Those situations are the least optimal situations you want to be in, especially considering it's splat zones. The second that zone is capped, and most of these teams are going to be making their way all the way in, and we're probably going to be seeing some pencils on the field. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing some blasters out as well, if I remember some of these weapon pools right, I think, as well. So I love Barnacle and Dime personally. Again, that's just the backline of me talking, but it is very much a Tetris piece, and it's very much you want to be the first one to be locking someone out.
Yeah, but you know what? This is our Tetris piece, to say the least. It's our Tetris piece. Yeah, but like you said, I actually wouldn't mind seeing blasters. I think blasters are really, really good, especially the little barrier between street and the zone is very effective for blasters, especially like the V blaster or the range blaster. Maybe a little less of like the rapid blaster because they have a lot less of an area radius. Maybe those might be a little less. Actually, I wouldn't surprise if we see like a bucket or a machine, because getting up onto the enemy plat with that is, again, very, very effective. You can also really affect the barrier of street. You can just, especially the special usage with like a Zuka with a bubble to get yourself in. These like shorter range, mainly AoE weapons are very, very good at getting your team in.
Yeah, those little ledges are going to be something they want to take advantage. I want to see if any of our weapon predictions are going to come true right here. Yep, there's that blast we talked about, and a shot dabbles. Very interesting as well. And there's that S spot. So I called the blasters. I'm just saying, I think I was right there. Methinks. Also, Brella.
Oh yeah, you know what? As a Brella player, I'm a very, very big fan. I think Brella will see a bit more usage because it's a very good counter to a lot of shooters, a lot of like rush down weapons, because you're kind of forcing them to slow down. But on the side of Los Inklings, though, that Dapple duel is gonna be very, very interesting, because that weapon, you want to go forward. You are brain off, go forward, hold W, we'll see what's gonna work. But so far, it's not gonna work out for them, as the Abyss Angel is gonna get the first cap of the game. But Los Inklings striking back super quickly.
Yeah, just not wasting any time getting the zone of their own here, but there's this forced to, fight for themselves here, staying alive, being able to take a pick as the rest of Los Inklings comes back to center to regroup. And here, an excellent pick on the blast. You're going to be huge on getting a little bit more space here if you are Abyss Angels, and quickly getting the zone as well.
Yeah, now it's because, can you capitalize off of this? As you see, all the specials for Abyss Angels are coming out. That's gonna be one, that's gonna be two. The Dabbles are forced to pop the roost just to stay alive. They will leave with their life, which is better than nothing. And now Abyss Angels in a very, very good spot. They have the cooler at the ready. They're gonna build up the specials. They're gonna have a hammer in just a second. So now Los Inklings, they are kind of backed up. They have a Zuka. This could be what they need to get in.
Absolutely, with the hammer coming and taking an excellent pick on those Dapples as well. They are sitting nice and pretty here. If you are Abyss Angels, just here comes Bluey trying to find any of the picks, finding an excellent, trying to go for another one. Just barely, come on, do those. Abandoning the kill and opting to try and take zone, but that's going to be a crossfire. I believe this zone is going to be going in the favor. How are you alive? 28. There we go. There's the zone flip for Los Inklings, stopping that count at 28.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes mysteries are meant to be left unsolved, but I think what really was the downfall of Abyss Angels was they were a bit too aggressive. As you saw, they didn't really look at zone. They just kind of let Los Inklings do what they want to take back, and now Los Inklings, with the shoe on the other foot, able to put a lot of pressure onto it. As you do see Bluey here with another hammer. Here comes the choo-choo train. It's gonna get derailed by Teresa there. And now Los Inklings with a very, very quick lead change.
Indeed, there it is as you speak. And here comes Heavy trying to find an extra pick on Kaz right here. You want to get rid of that Umbrella, finding another extra pick right there. The scores are even, but with another member of Los Inklings going down, Abyss Angels has to find an answer and try to cap this out as quick as they can if they want this game to continue on any longer. Here comes Bluey Mom with the hammer, just trying to, going in for a trade as well, but neither zone has been capped. Oh no, it has been capped, forcing a penalty, and Abyss Angels being able to grab that zone once more, and with the 3 down on Los Inklings on top of that.
And I think what I can really compliment Abyss Angels for is that every time they cap zone, they're not just getting the zone. They're getting plat, they're getting the street, they're getting at least pressure onto snipe. They're getting a lot more space to work with, and it's working.
And a lovely pick from Kaz as well. Going for 2. Are we going to make it 3 is the question. Are we making it 3? That is a knockout in the favor of Abyss Angels. They just put themselves at a huge advantage here. They're going to be trying to put this into a knockout, especially with Los Inklings just continue to lose one of their members. It's going to be a miracle if they're going to be able to get in the zone here with just a couple ticks left. That might be it.
Yeah, there it is. 3, 2, 1. That will be game. And Abyss Angels, they were at the right place at the right time. The hammer triple that kind of just put a stamp on that game by Bluey really shut the door, because as we were talking about before the game even started, it's very hard to get out of a lot of situations. Yes, both teams did do that pretty well, I would say, on both sides, but it was just when that when the wipeout happened, when the hammer got popped, Abyss Angels were just way too far up, and Los Inklings, they just had to be, you know what, you had to put caution to the wind. They just had to go towards zone, and unfortunately, Abyss Angels, they were ready for them.
Ready indeed. And I do want to talk about that triple we saw from Kez, I believe it was, with the jet, which is, I think it was just the setting factor. That was the final straw right there that really led Abyss Angels to victory, because the 3 down, that wipeout just forced Los Inklings in a really far back scenario, and there was just no way of entry from there, especially considering how low the count really was. So Abyss Angels with an excellent first game, but it's not over yet, because we are going to be moving on to Tower Control Undertow Spillway. I have beef with this map.
Okay, what's your beef with this map?
Every backline on this mode, on this map particularly, feels kind of mid. Every other weapon can kind of make do. There is a couple ledges there that, you know, if you have anchors, I believe there are, I think there's spot on each side. That glass becomes really hard to take, especially considering those blasters. Those blasters are gonna have a lot of fun on those ledges, especially the grates, and really any anchor position. Blasters at it already, so it's going to be a little more difficult to maneuver those for each of their backlines respectively.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, because I don't personally play backliners, but from what I can see is that a lot of backliners are kind of neutralized, if that makes sense. They're all kind of like on a flat, even plane. They're all pretty much viable. Then you have Pencil being Pencil, of course, which I would not be surprised if we see both Pencils, but more towards the map itself now. Yeah, some spotlinks, but more towards the map itself now. I think we can both agree this is basically a 2 checkpoint map. The first checkpoint, it's like 3 feet in front of you, and that usually falls within the first 10 seconds for both sides. That's Teresa with the long range splatling, the heavy, or the Hydra splatling, the vanilla kit. So maybe some firepower is what they need right now.
I think they're opting to use that as a GG Booyah, as both sides are running Booyah Bomb to, you know, try and get, you know, we love our GG strikes, but GG Booyah also gets the job done nicely well. It looks like we are seeing some movement here from the Abyss Angels first off, being able to take a member off of Los Inklings, trying to find another one, finding a trade instead. 2 down on Los Inklings, and numbers continue to do it. No, that's 3 down on Abyss Angels. What happened? We blinked and everyone went down.
You know what? That's just the power of trades. Abyss Angels were able to get a couple of points on the board, but that's really not negligible because it's only 3 points. It's not that far of distance, but now a lot of neutral fighting here as Los Inklings will lose 1 equals with the is in mid 1. The Booyah Bomb will get popped, try to do something. However, Bluey Mom with a flank is able to get a nice double kill to set Abyss Angels up for a pretty easy first checkpoint, maybe even the second checkpoint.
Yeah, we blinked and everyone on Los Inklings was going down right here. We are seeing that right at the tower. We see a slug using that Duka to try and find a pick on the tower, unable to find it, but they do drop and just try to find anything. And unfortunately, going down to the Booyah Bomb right here. Abyss Angels just wait, we got to scramble in the middle of the tower there. Everyone is here. Everyone is dying.
I mean, this is Splatoon. What else can I say? It's just a lot of fast-paced fights. Things switch in 3 seconds or less. So what happens in one fight may not really matter. As we see right here, we're back to neutral, but Abyss Angels is slowly creeping up. We do see Tin Can and Kaz on this right-hand side try to do something here. One's gonna go down. The Zuka's gonna come out. That's 2 down on Abyss Angels. One's trying to push up, but however, they won't be able to get a lot of space forced back. There's the jumps coming in. Sea Slug here is gonna get a trade. They're gonna get 2, actually 3 down for Abyss Angels, and now Los Inklings with a chance to get their first push going.
Yeah, they're going to be wanting to try and get as many points as they can with this push. We are seeing that cooler come down for Abyss Angels, I believe. So they're going to be coolered up and ready to go to try and get this defense moving. But Meowser is still in there, being able to take 2. I think they took 2 before they went down as well. Abyss Angels using that jet to try and take down the Booyah Bomb, just trying to make some sort of wave, but it doesn't look to be making too much noise. With Mouse, oh my god, that tower's moving. We're schmoving here, Topic.
Yeah, you can say that again as Los Inklings able to break through the second checkpoint. A really big blow to Abyss Angels because they were playing solid defense, and then Los Inklings just kept the pressure up and it worked. They were able to break through that second checkpoint, and now Abyss Angels, they don't have to panic just yet. They have 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes to go. They have a lot of time to work with because, as we both know, things can change in an instant, especially in Splatoon, and Abyss Angels in a good spot. There's one gonna go down. There's the jet coming out. There's the hammer. They have this Booyah Bomb. They have the cooler. Will they make something of it? Possibly. Forcing Slug to jump out equals here is on trying to play some defense on this second checkpoint.
Yep, and it looks like Abyss Angels are getting ready to get this tower moving and moving. Booyah Bomb is also coming out from them as well to make a little bit more extra space for the members that are already up and forward. We are going to be seeing, whoa, there goes my mic. We are going to be seeing, oh wait, no, that's 2 down on Abyss Angels. Again, you blink and you miss it because members are going down left and right when we are seeing engagements.
I mean, yeah, that Bluey Mom with a nice one-shot there to keep Abyss Angels in. However, they gotta move Teresa, because if they don't, the Hydra spotting just be like, hey, you're on tower, not for long. As you see right there, the defense from Los Inklings is going to be enough, and now they have a chance to add even more onto their lead. However, they have a minute left to go, and now Abyss Angels have to get them off. If they want to win this game, they are gonna have to move the Hydra, because the Hydra has been the biggest boon in their side.
Yeah, but they also have to get to the rest of the teammates in order to get to the Hydra. It's just, anchors are, well, they're doing their anchor. They're doing their job keeping the team up and together here. It's like glue, really. But Kaz coming in with that pack, able to take 2 members down. Well, that's going to be 2 down on Los Inklings right now. So Abyss Angels has one last opportunity to try and get this tower moving once more. I think right here it's just really taking your time, clearing your space and making sure that Los Inklings can't find a small opening on you. And, we're seeing that Booyah Bomb to make that initial space. But with so much ink turning orange still, it's gonna get a little bit difficult to move right past that.
Yeah, we're seeing it again. The defense from Los Inklings at this point has become really impenetrable. That's a nice one-shot there by equals. There's Teresa with the GG. Booyah just staring at the tower, doing a bit of a stare down, deciding to throw the Booyah Bomb. And with 10 seconds left, the members of Abyss Angels had to do something there. That's a good start. Booyah Bomb with the hammer yeet, and now here we are into overtime. Abyss Angels need to protect this tower with their life. They cannot afford to let Los Inklings get anywhere near the tower.
Yep, and I like that they're set up right now. Wait, that's 3 down on Abyss Angels. We blink, everyone went down, and Los Inklings is able to get the tower, evening the score 1-1. Dude, I swear, they engage and suddenly everyone's gone. And that's what this match has been.
That's Commentators' curse right there. Plain and simple. Nothing else.
you blink and everyone's gone. It's just like, then again, this map feels very like clustered up, and it feels very enclosed, this map. So I can feel, you can low-key feel the desperation coming from each team, especially because you only have so much space to move in, because each like side of mid just feels so much more enclosed than mid.
I mean, yeah, it is. Because the mid section is kind of small relative to the rest of the map. Like, the path the tower takes is kind of condensed, so all the fights get pushed into like these little corridors, and then that's what happens of what we saw, just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, just one person going down, one more going down, one going down, one going down on either side. So a lot of fighting, but now here we are, game number 3. Let's see what these teams bring out as we go to Clan Blitz Museum D'Alfonsino.
This is gonna be very good, especially considering that both sides have spotlings. I'm expecting, honestly, I could see either using the long range of Hydra or sticking to those short range spotlings to add more aggression, because you can technically run down those longer range comps. Or like, you know, look, if you're playing against a leader or charger, you can run down those comps with aggression, run forward, and you can overwhelm numbers. So I want to see if these teams are going to be playing on that slower end, or they're going to be playing the rundown end of Museum.
Well, if you look at what happened last game, right? Los Inklings, they decided to go with the Hydra, and it worked out. They kind of slowed the game down just a little bit. They forced Abyss Angels to come towards them, and anytime they did, they got mowed down, to be frank, by the Hydra, because that's what worked. And that Hydra again gave them some safety net, because if you see a Hydra charging up, or you see a Hydra just with the barrel spinning, you don't want to be anywhere around them, right? You don't want to fight any of their teammates around them. So just by having the threat of a Hydra, it's just a threat, not the Hydra's looking at you, just the threat of one, kind of gives Los Inklings a kind of a safety barrier, really. So I will also expect them to stick with the Hydra, since it works so well for them.
I could see it, honestly. Yeah, and on top of that, you get the Booyah Bomb as well to make yourself a little bit more space as well. So no, yeah, it was Los Inklings. My brain is all jumbled up. It's getting late. My brain's all jumbled. For some reason, I was like, wait, Los Inklings? I thought Abyss Angels. I was wrong. It was Los Inklings that did have the Hydra. The lovely orange ink. But we're going to be seeing if those predictions come true or not as we open up our third game here topic.
Let's see what we're gonna do. Teresa instead going for, I believe that's the Rain Jet Squelcher. Yes, it is. Okay, bit of a I like Rain on this map personally. I think it's very, very good because it can clear out plat super easily. And then outside of Abyss Angels, no real changes. So we're gonna see how this more not aggressive, this more mobile backliner will affect how Los Inklings plays.
I think that's also going to be like one of the things that, like, you know, you're able to engage in these fights a little bit more safely, in my opinion, because you are technically a shooter as well. But it looks like those things are going to be forced on the back end right here, especially considering Abyss Angels are starting to move forward, seeing that turn start to turn purple, able to take a pick as well here. Bluey Mom, that is going to be a second one down on Los Inklings. You're going to get moving, but Los Inklings is adamant on defending that ramp, making sure that Abyss Angels does not get anywhere near it, and they're doing a well job of doing that. But with one of the members going down, that's going to change really quickly.
Yeah, and this is kind of what happens on this map a lot, is that what a lot of fights come down to is who can control this ramp really well, who can like get their forces through. And as we see, Abyss Angels with a very quick wipe, but unfortunately for no, they're able to save the ball. Kaz with a couple more clams, and Bluey Mom trying to get in. They're gonna get it down to 45. Kaz is still in, getting a couple more clams down to 42, 39, and with that, that might be the end of the push for Abyss Angels, as Tin Can's gonna go down as well. Silly and Bluey Mom forced to back away, and Abyss Angels with a very, very good opening push.
Yeah, it was a very good one indeed right here. We are seeing a lot more clams still go into their possession here, and they still have this mid evened out between orange and purple. So it really is just a matter of which one of these teams is going to be pushing for. Seeing that Reef coming out from Yowzer. Ooh, I think they did take out 1, 2 down on Abyss Angels, but it's going to be equal for a second here as Bluemon, coming with the hammer, able to take a pick. It's just like that when you think the tides are going to start turning. Abyss Angels comes in just as fast to defend their home base. But wait, that's a jump. That's a jump in. No, that's a dead push. They lost both of their members right there.
I mean, yeah, they tried to get something going. Abyss Angels snuffed it out, got it, and now Abyss Angels has basically a free power clam. And as you can see, they're using it to damage as they're gonna push up Tin Can, trying to get in. Unfortunately for them, they're gonna be forced away, leaving only Silly left on the heavy edit, forced to just back all the way up while getting chased. They decide to just jump out the safe option, and now they are prepared for Los Inklings to push. Okay, never mind. That seems like gonna get one, but they are more prepared than they would have been if they overcommitted. Now they can kind of sit back and let Los Inklings come to them and see what happens. But Dr. Meowser has some other words, forcing their way in with the Reef Slider. Equals jumping in. There's a Splatoon 2 classic. There's one power clam. The other one is gonna possibly go down, and yes, that will be it. Dr. Meowser is still here, though. They're gonna get it, but a wipeout finally, and Abyss Angels will fend off Los Inklings.
Yeah, that I would. In exchange for not a wipeout, though, they do get Abyss Angels is able to get in back to mid here and get a lot more paint in their favor. We're looking to regain that control is going to be huge right here, especially because the scores are a lot closer than they seem now. It takes 2 power clams, and you're going to be seeing a lead swap if Los Inklings gets another entry in. So really, either team is going to be looking to either pick lead, or if you're Abyss Angels, you're going to be wanting to extend that lead a little bit further. There is a minute and a half left, so only time will tell really to see what approach these teams are truly going to be going for.
Yeah, and I think we've seen throughout the course of this game, Los Inklings kind of gain back their momentum, but the second I say that, they're gonna go 3 down as well. Abyss Angels within striking distance. They have 13, 12 clams to work with. They're gonna build a power clam. They have the pity clam as well, as Cat's there is gonna break the barrier. There's a Blue Bomb coming out to clear out the plat. It's gonna work slightly, but here's Bluey Mom with the hammer looking for a victim. There's one. They're not quite able to get it. They're gonna get at least a trade out of it, so that's worth it. So now, if you're Abyss Angels, your Bluey Mom is gonna go crazy, as now Abyss Angels are in it again with the cooler. This is super dangerous for Los Inklings.
No, I just want to talk about Bluey Mom just coming in and taking 3 because they felt silly. That was ridiculous. And get going! Just boom, just by a smidge right there, and that's gonna bring that score down to 13. I think that is gonna be the end of that push for Abyss Angels. Those Inklings is, it's starting to look a little bit more dire right here as we are approaching those last 30 seconds of the game. Well, we are at those last 20 seconds even now, so those Inklings has to find an answer, and they have around 40 seconds if overtime goes to its fullest to take that lead. So, this is gonna get rough.
I mean, but so far for Los Inklings, they're looking pretty good. 3 down on Abyss Angels. They have clams to work with. They have a power. They have the pity. They're on the plat. Can they make this can they make this push a reality? There's a splash down to clear out space. Teresa is going to score. There's Dr. Meowser, but they need a lot more clams than just that. Sleesaw getting 3 more in. They're going to be the last member remaining, and with that might be it. They're going to fight for their lives. Bluey Mom with the stamp, returning them back to sender, and that will be it. Abyss Angels will fend off Los Inklings and will win the set very closely, I should say, 2-1.
No, absolutely close indeed right there, because it was down to the wire. Had Los Inklings had maybe another member or just a bit more clams, that could have been a very different situation. But Abyss Angels, with their excellent defense coming through, and offense really, because we saw that opening push, that was insane. Both of these teams are incredibly strong, but Abyss Angels able to take it home 2-1.
I mean, hey, it was just, we saw from, I do understand the pick of the Jet Squelcher. Very mobile backliner. You have the rain to kind of clear the plat. It was just Abyss Angels. They played very quickly, to say the least. They played with a lot of speed, and unfortunately, Los Inklings just got caught on the road, and they got ran over a little bit there. That's how they let that push get down to 13. No, they got one push down to, I believe, 39.
I believe so. No, yeah, it was.
Push almost immediately down to 13, and yeah, it was. So that kind of just set the tone. That kind of set the tone, and it made Los Inklings have to kind of preemptively push so they don't run out of time.
Indeed, and honestly, it was just it was very back and forth. We did see a lot of back and forth here, but Abyss Angels was able to get a little bit more pushes in, more than Los Inklings here. So, I I'd say that was really good on their part. I was just not. You mentioned it earlier. I still am shocked to see Jet Squelcher out on the field. I was not expecting that.
I mean,
Still.
hey, it's a good weapon. I like Jet Squelcher. I think it's a good weapon. But with that, that'll be the end of round number 1 of SOS. But stay right there because we're gonna take a very, very quick break before we come to round number 2. So hope you like some Splatoon action because we got more coming out to you in a couple minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our very nice edition of SOS number 169. We are here with round number 2. We have Magic Beans versus Last Melody. I am Topic, and I am joined by Fufu.
Hello. We are back here on the mic, and just as Topic introduced to us here, we have our next match up and ready for you guys. See, this time I don't recognize anyone on the rosters, but what I do recognize is that dang resort of a map we have on Splat Zones.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta sit back, lay your feet up, take a little drink, and go over to the resort as we're going to go to Splat Zones Mahi Mahi. One of the most changed maps from Splatoon 1. Is it changed for the better or for the worse? I think it's slightly worse in my opinion.
When you come back from, unless you're thinking about Splatoon 1, I'm thinking Splatoon 3's history, where it was very much. I would actually change this. Like I would consider this map a bit of a controversial map, if that makes sense, because it went from probably one of the most hated maps to suddenly one of the most favorable maps, especially in a high to top level, which was very interesting to see that 180.
I mean, I was talking about from a Splatoon 1 perspective as a Splatoon 1 player. I think this is one of the, it's slightly worse, especially after the update. But I think why the update made it so popular is because, especially when that water level drops, the mid section becomes so much more open. There's a lot more space, a lot more space to work with, a lot more obstacles to provide cover. The side islands are at least a little bit relevant, so I think this made the map much more dynamic than before.
I would have to agree. I do like that change. Water goes down and there's every man for themselves, but we are seeing a lot more, the comps that we're used to. We are seeing those pencils coming out from each side along with those splashes. So I'm also just seeing, it's interesting to see the rapid and the pencil on the same squad, which is a choice I wouldn't have thought of.
I mean, yeah, but as we see from the side of Last Melody, they're going with the roller and the Dreadringer. Dreadringer, one of my favorite weapons in the game. I think it's the most underrated, but unfortunately for the Magic Beans, able to put up a lot of pressure almost immediately. Chosen's gonna go down before the reset goes out. Hard was gonna pop the strikes to give some space to work with. They are gonna able to neutralize the zone, to flip it. It's a whole nother story. They're not able to in time as Magic Beans looking to just hold on here.
Yep, doing everything they can, putting a large amount of pain, and with that bubble coming in, that is going to be the quickest switch of the West here for Last Melody, quickly taking that zone for themselves here as we are seeing pressure coming out from each side. They are now able to move forward. That pencil going down on Magic Beans is actually huge because their team just lost a lot of pain. This is going to be a nice lockout situation here for Last Melody if they can catch it here.
But Magic Beans, look, they got specials, they got the strikes, they got the Inkjet, but can they use the advantage? Never mind, the Inkjet's gonna go down. Magic Melody will take the lead. The water level's gonna drop, so they have a lot more space to work with. Last Melody, they're looking to hold on here. They don't have a lot to really worry about. The pencil does have cooler, yes, but actually, hold on, Magic Beans with 3 specials, with 4 specials. Here's out an all-out assault. Everything in the kitchen sink is gonna be thrown at Last Melody. Can they hold on? The roller doing roller things, gonna get the Inkjet before it gets anything going. The roller's gonna get another one. Yoshio there trying to go in. The hammer is gonna be popped into zone. They're gonna go down, and Last Melody will hold on just barely to 2 points. Magic Beans trying to fight it off, but that will be it. Last Melody, I think they 100-0'd, I'm pretty sure.
That was 100-0, I'm pretty sure as well. Once they were able to get that zone from the hands of Magic Beans, that was it. I think what was very interesting about Last Melody's defense, right? Well, offense really, offense, defense, and they got 2-for-1 specials. They never really went fully into the base of Magic Beans. They opted to use that middle to allow them to drop into them rather than chase them themselves, which I think was very interesting, which I was like, this could have very consequences, but no, they held it together and just was able to bring that 100-0, exactly as you said.
I mean, if you look at their comp, they were very paint heavy. They had Pencil, your long range painter. You had Splash, your short range painter. Then you had Dreadringer, a weapon that paints very deceptively, might I add. It just provides a lot of space for the roller that was super effective at sharking under ledges. I think roller got 1 or 2 or 3 kills at the end, which kind of shut down Magic Bean's push. But will they be able to carry that over? I personally think they will as we go to game number 2, Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge.
Yep, we are changing tides here, moving on to an even faster paced mode here. Clam Blitz, my beloved and behated. Again, this map is very interesting. It's very open. Mid feels very interesting, especially considering that you had the tower there, just a dab slap in the middle of mid, which I think that makes mid feel a lot more like a chokehold more than a mid than anything. And I think that's what teams have to be careful of. They have to be careful that they don't get stuck in the middle or behind for not wanting to push forward. If teams are able to push past that, you're smooth sailing, you're chilling, you're all good.
I mean, me personally, I view this map kind of similarly to Museum in the sense that the ramp is the biggest chokehold of the entire game. If you're able to control your ramp, able to push the enemies off your ramp, you're good. If you lose your ramp, be prepared to lose 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 points, because if you think about it, the basket is not that far back into the enemy base. It's kind of, not exposed, it's kind of close to mid in a sense.
It's like right there when you really think about it. It's like your actual the areas you can lock out are pretty big, but you only really need to push so far in order to get those points. Yeah, it's like it really is those choke points. You weren't kidding. I think any further, and I don't think you'd have anyone scoring. You'd have a mincemeat scenario, which is very interesting to think about when it comes to this map. But both of the teams opening up, we are seeing Splash Crab. I actually really like that, and that Carbon instead of the regular roller here as well.
Yeah, instead of Magic Beans, again, very, very aggressive. They go with the sploosh. Unfortunately, that's not going to do a whole lot as Magic and Melody going to get a quick 3-down scenario. They're already in the base. The Chosen's going to pop. The Roomsider gives even more space in Last Melody, getting it down to 59, 53, and they're not looking to stop anytime soon.
You know, that's an insane first push, and it doesn't look like they're done yet with a bunch of clams coming in on the way. Pencil able to find the excellent pick, but that basket is going to say otherwise, quickly forcing that push to end here. Pencil, we feel whimsical. Honestly, me too. I can't even lie. That push going down as well. It doesn't look like Lost Melody is going to be losing a lot of space ending this push right here. Magic Bean just Lost Melody here. Well, no, Magic Bean is still on the back foot here.
I mean, yeah, they have 2 specials. Maybe they can at least force their way into mid, but there's Chosen with the Roomside. They're gonna get one. They're gonna go down in the trade, unfortunately, but that's really, really bad for Magic Beans because now they lost a lot of their resources in order to at least get Chosen off the field. But now we see Magic Beans trying to slowly creep their way into mid, going around that left-hand side, gonna catch Last Melody off guard. It's gonna work. They're gonna go 2 down as Magic Beans, unfortunately, they're gonna get a lot of trades. So even though, yes, they fought their way back in mid, they don't really have anything more to get any further.
Yeah, and Pattern is feeling very whimsical here, going in, proving to be a bit of a distraction for the rest of their teammates as well. But Magic Bean isn't letting that sway them too much as they're 3 down on Last Melody. That is going to be a power climb going in their favor right now. They are giving Last Melody a taste of their own medicine, quickly scoring as many points as they can right here, looking to swap that lead. And just 2 more clams to swap that lead, and there it is, lead swap in the favor of Magic Bean.
I mean, this is exactly what their comp is made for. It's meant to be up close. It's meant to be in your face. It's meant to be super, super aggressive. It's meant to be in the base of Last Melody. And unfortunately, they're going to be forced out. But now Last Melody, the momentum is switched over to Magic Bean's side. Now Last Melody has to find their own way in. But with how well they opened at the beginning, I do expect them to find that relatively quickly.
No, yeah, indeed. We are looking at this neutral situation happening right in front of us, just trying to make some waves. I love that Crab. Crab is such an not really underrated, let's be honest, but it's just really good at making so much space for the teammates, and we saw that exactly happen right then there. Cooler's going to be grabbed by the rest of the members of Last Melody, but just trying to find a way in here. We gotta get that ball in. There it goes.
I mean, there it goes. There's the hammer getting ran over by the Reed Slider. And last Melody striking once again, getting it down to 35. Haru, the last member remaining, assigned to at least hold the front line for a little bit more, kind of stall out the members of Magic Beans, and that will be the end of Last Melody's push. But so far, Last Melody looks like they're going to be on their back foot super quickly. Magic Beans are pushing up so fast. It's very back and forth. Both teams are not letting their foot off the gas.
Yeah, we step on the gas in this house right here. Magic Beans already looking to get most of them in here, just trying to find an opportunity to get themselves in. That cooler is going to be coming out, so the safety net is on and running. But oh, Carbon! You feel a whimsical going in for a guy. I think they might be taking out here. How are you live? Okay, whatever. I guess Carbons just do that. That's just Carbon behavior.
I mean, listen. Something that just happens as they're gonna get another one before going down. The ball might disappear. Crazy saves it at the very last second. Gonna kill the Carbon one more time. They're gonna pop the Bee Bomb to give some space. 60 seconds remaining. Magic Beans, the one's gonna go down. Crazy is gonna be in. They're gonna score. There's a second power gonna go in. And now Magic Beans a couple more clams away. There it is, gonna take the lead. And now Last Melody again. They're gonna be on their back foot. Nutella is gonna pop the hammer. They're gonna go down as well, and that will be it for Magic Beans. Now with 30 seconds left, it's up to Last Melody to get something going, because now Magic Beans, all the momentum is in their favor.
Indeed. The tides have turned right here. Last Melody having to find a way to get in. They're going to, forcing that Carbon to get out. They lose a lot of space with that as well, because you don't have to worry about Carbon sneaking around at least for the next couple seconds. But, Last Melody has the clam in their possession. That has that space starting to be made. I love that crab. So if that pressure continues to stay up, but that's a sandwich. That's an insane sandwich. I think that they just got to get a ball in. They got to get a ball in, but it doesn't look like it's going in the double.
No.
It's insane, but it works. They're able to put an end to the melody, but it's almost not the end of the dance. That is the end of the song as Magic Beans. I believe that's going to be it and game right here once overtime is over.
I mean, yeah, the ball's ticking. There it is. The ball is going to explode. And Magic Beans, just like you said, the dance isn't over yet. We're just switching over to our final track. But Magic Beans, a very resilient team, I might add. They got hit immediately. I think Last Melody got down to 40, something in the 40s with their first push, and then Magic Beans, they took it on the chin and they kept on rolling, and they were able to just overwhelm the members of Last Melody, and they were able to break through that last defense using both hammers to just say, hey, you're not getting this ball, and it just worked out for them.
It was so crazy. I don't think I've ever seen double hammer on a stream. So not popped at the same time. So to me, that was incredibly entertaining. I was like, oh, it worked, because they just cleared that entire space. It's like, if you are in that space path of the hammer, you're gone. You're dead. But we're going to be switching, switching it up a little bit, considering we're going into Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track. I have words for this, choice words for this map, but I'm thinking about that roller more than... I can't say them online.
Okay.
I can't say those words on stream. I have words for Humpback Pump Check. That being said, I'm concerned about that Carbon, because that Carbon is going to have a field day on this map.
I mean, you want to talk about having a field day? Whenever I see Rainmaker, whenever I see Humpback, I think of buckets, number 1, and number 2 is Sploosh. Like, very fast weapon Sploosh, kind of known as the Rainmaker rat weapon. You can take it and just run for the hills. So I would not be surprised if we see Last Melody go for a very quick pop and just run it down mid or run it down that right side, because if they're able to do that, if they're able to get Last Melody on their back foot early, I can see them just snowballing this into a very quick knockout.
Oh no, absolutely. And another thing about snowballing this map, the numbers can snowball incredibly quickly, but no number is safe on this map unless that fish is in the pedestal. The only safe number is 0 on this map, because you think 13's good, wrong. Suddenly you're going to be seeing that score go down to 1.
I mean, yeah, because the map... Oof. Yeah, because the plat of map is pretty flat, to be honest. There's no real obstacles in your way, or you know what I mean.
I'm like, there's a big old lump right there in the center. We have the skate park. I do not miss Black Belly. That being said, this is a map where you don't have 2 feet on the ground evenly. Brush is an excellent choice. I can't even. Flinta.
I mean, I can't. You know what? We love missiles here. And then on the side of Magic Beans, going over to the Tri-Stringer, the machine with the Booyah machine, and the Splashdown blaster. So very short range, short to mid range, very aggressive weapon. So I would not be surprised if we see a lot of fighting, as we're gonna see right here in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, but they're looking for that rundown. If they can get behind Magic Beans right here, and they can cause a bit of mayhem. Whoa, we blinked and everyone's down. That is going to be 3 down last Melody. I'm pretty sure Magic Beans has the advantage here, forcing their last to jump out. That's going to be a checkpoint if they're able to climb up this. Oh, nope, the Rainmaker going down. Last Melody preventing them from getting that checkpoint right then and there.
I mean, this is what happens, especially on this map. This elbow is very dangerous, as Magic Beans is showing right here, as they're gonna go 3 down again. And now Last Melody with an opportunity here. The path is gonna be painted in all purple for them. There it is, and there is the dunk. Now the question becomes, can they get off this elbow? Because Magic Beans will defend this with their life, as we see right here. Last Melody gets a couple more points, down to 38. Bonk with a flanks, and they get 3 down. Haru's gonna get another one. The path is clear. The sploosh is gonna go down as well. Last Melody running it down, but they're gonna get stopped at 1 point. But as you said earlier, no lead is safe from either side.
From what seemed like a reckless play, turned out to be an incredibly useful one, because from the Rainmaker going down there to just that entire alley being able to be secured by a hammer, and just like that, Magic Beans was able to get the checkpoint, but it just wasn't without a price. 3 of the members went down. I'm not over that. We blinked. I feel bad. I commentator cursed that knockout. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, hey, welcome to Commentary. What else can I say? As we do see Last Melody just setting up in mid, not deciding to reset, just kind of trying to take as much space as possible, trying to condense the space Magic Beans has to work with. Though Nutella able to get 1 before going into mid, trying to dance around this Rainmaker, dodge, dipping and diving all around. There's Crazy for some backup. The missiles though will kind of slow them down. A hammer from out of left field is gonna get 1 down, and they go down to the hammer throw. And Last Melody, this momentum is gonna be deadly for Magic Beans. Indeed, right here. Last Melody able to have that Rainmaker in position, just make a lot more space for them, not only the Rainmaker themselves, but for the rest of their teammates right here. Unfortunately, with one of them going down, that's going to be the end of that Rainmaker at that elbow. So with Magic Beans having a lot more pain and definitely that number advantage, they're going to be wanting to grab the Maker, and they're going to be wanting to move that forward, because they have to knock out in order to win. They got a long road ahead of them here. I mean, they do, but we've seen Last Melody, especially those missiles, very underrated as of Splatoon 3. It just kind of clears space. It just clears people, get them out of the way, and they're using it really effectively. They're stopping pushes from Magic Beans before they even have a chance to start. See another trade going out. Another one's gonna go down inside of Magic Beans, and now Last Melody, they have about 80 seconds remaining. They are 90 seconds remaining. They can just kind of chill out here. They don't have to be too aggressive. If they can just let Magic Beans come to them, let them make mistakes, they can just kind of coast here. Yeah, because they can let Magic Beans run their entire course in their base, and as long as they don't knock out, it doesn't matter right here. They can play whatever game they want, exactly as you said for Last Melody. It's like, you can play whimsical, you can play aggressive, you can play defensive. As long as they don't get that Rainmaker anywhere near your pedestal, it doesn't matter. But so far, Magic Beans trying to knock on the door here. That's a nice direct, getting a nice kill onto Haru, but with only 60 seconds remaining, can they get these kills in a row? Can they get these kills when it really matters? Can they stop the specials of Last Melody? These are the questions that they need to answer if they want to get to a knockout, basically, because they're gonna have to do that to win. Magic Beans here just kind of get some space, and it's gonna work out for them. As we see, most of mid is going to be painted into yellow. However, Haru able to track down the Rainmaker. There's the missiles. The 12 or 10 missiles onto one person will be it for that push. And with about 30 seconds remaining, Last Melody just got to hold on here.
No, indeed. Just those 20 seconds, to guard the Rainmaker, and just even if Magic Beans grabbed it, as long as there's someone there to guard that Rainmaker and prevent it from getting any further. There it is, and oh, what a hammer already coming in, going in for 2, and with that Rainmaker resetting, that is going to be it. That is, game. There it is, Last Melody with a crazy push to 1, taking the set, 2-1.
Yeah, there it is. Magic Beans, the clock struck 12. The symphony is over, and Last Melody will have the last laugh as they win 2-1. And that entire game, in my opinion, came down to the first or second push that Last Melody had, getting it down to 1, setting that momentum so early, and then Magic Beans just had to respond as best they could, and they tried, but they just couldn't break through. They were stuck at the elbow section for the longest time. It took them a very long time just to get into the plat area. It took them so long. By the time that Last Melody or Magic Beans got through, every time Last Melody, they had the specials, they had the numbers, they just had the resources to work with.
No, yeah, absolutely. It was just a crazy switch of like momentum between the two. Once that like 1 point was established, it was like, oh boy, things just took a crazy turn on this match. But that, yeah, Last Melody with a 2-1 on their set. What a great job.
I mean, yeah, that was, you know what, that's super cool. But we got round number 3 ready almost immediately for you. As you know what, that's in the past. We got the present now. We have Strawberry Supernova versus Not Trademarked. Doesn't say not copyrighted. I mean, I have it copyrighted.
Topic. I think they're wrong because green over here has a trademark on them. I think one of them is trademarked.
One of these things is not like the other.
One of these things is not like the other. No, literally, because this user may be spreading false information.
Yeah, but let's see how they're gonna start off as we go to our first match, Hagglefish Market Zones. Now, I have a very good. Whenever I see this map mode, I think of one thing, or multiple things. But what do I think of? I think of vanilla ice cream. I think of salt and pepper. I think of Marvel movies. I think of bananas. I think of Final Destination from Smash Brothers. I think of Hunger Games, the Hunger Games. Just very bland, very basic, very,
come on,
very inoffensive. There's very little elevation changes other than those left and right sides. It's mostly flat other than the ramp. So, but basic does not necessarily mean bad. Basic, that just means that this is a good opening map. It's a good map to get a feel for your opponent.
I couldn't disagree though, because Hagglefish Market has always been a staple since, like, it's been a comp staple, let's be honest. It's always been relevant ever since the game's launch in the competitive scene. It's like you're starting your scrims on either Mako zones or Haggle zones. There is no in between on that. So it has its open mid, it has its flank route entries, it's a very straightforward map. Everything is laid out right in front of you in a line with some extra flank points and all that. So it really is get the zone, get moving, and prevent that team from getting it to center. That is just this map, TM.
I mean, yeah, because I said it. I don't think it's bad. Basic does not mean bad. Final Destination is not a bad map in Smash Bros. Hunger Games, we don't talk about the last ones. But
I like Hunger Games. I can't even lie, bro. I actually like Hunger Games.
All right, well, okay, that's a discussion for off stream, but
oh, you're about to okay, we'll figure it out.
All right, so like vanilla ice cream is not bad. It's a good base. All right, it's a good base. I think this map mode in particular is it's a very like neutral. It's the best way I could put it.
Topic, you're talking about ice cream, mint choco ice cream, yes or no?
Mint chocolate?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Tell me.
Not my first choice, but I do like some mint chocolate ice cream.
Okay, that's all I need to know. You're spared. You're spared for the plague. or whatever the kids say these days. I just have to make sure. Make sure.
Okay. Well, thank you, I guess.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, bottom line is Haggle Fish Market, it's there, it's chilling, it's a staple, not too special, but it gets the job done. It's I like the map. I like it. Picasso.
Yeah, I think I prefer it over most maps, but enough of our yapping. Let's yap about these teams as they're gonna get started with our game number 1. Let's see. Splatoon Stamper flings a roller. Okay, and on the other side, a junior, a very good weapon, especially for Bubble. Bubble on this map is really underrated. It's really good.
Yes. Bubble, that zone is yours with a bubble in zone unless it goes down in 2 seconds. Also, I do want to mention that junior build is running double bomb as well, so they're gonna be, opting to be really annoying with any bombs coming their way. That bubble is ready for them as well, so if they can get those into the zone, that's gonna be a bubble nice and ready for their teammates right here, just trying to find that entry. But okay, it's not Haggle that's been fighting for that zone for like 30 seconds. We already saw that. There's that bubble. I'm pretty sure that's gonna flip in their favor.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Oh no. That's a very unfortunate DC, but thankfully we are within the DC rules, I believe.
Yeah. Do we want to stop it, Bessie? Do they want to stop the game? Do it. I think they want to play. They're just.
Oh no.
That was the biggest hater behavior I've seen of my life. They just bro was just chill. Look at Jam, but they were chilling and they were hating. They hated Jam swag, bro. They hated Jam swag.
They took after Kendrick. I can't blame them.
So that was an execution. That was just that. Oh my, that was brutal.
That was a warning on it.
Call it a warning.
Yeah, so if you want, let's talk a little bit about what we did see. Like you said, you put a bubble onto the zone, especially on the enemy side of zone. That's basically free because they can't really do it. You're gonna have someone watching at least one of the flanks. So if you have a bubble, especially in zone, especially when they use the Zuka right afterwards, that just kind of forced the enemy team back. It really forced them into a really awkward position. But let's see, can Jam get their revenge, or will this be kind of deja vu from the first try? Let's go this round number 2, or try number 2. Let's see here.
Indeed. I also want to mention that they have Flings and Jet Swelter. So I do like the rain pick. Rain and missiles are just going to be there to make a lot more space for the other two that are going to be running in. Don't already 2 bombs coming in on the field. Those not Trademarked are going to be wanting to get the zone first compared to last time. If they're able, that's another DC. I think they have to play it out unless they're going to gentlemen stop, but I don't know what's going to happen here. It looks like they're going to just continue to play it out, I think.
Yes, I believe you get 1 DC per set. So, unfortunately for Strawberry Supernova, they are going to be forced to play it out. They're forced to thug it out to see what can happen. But unfortunately, not Trademarked, just taking full advantage of this permanent man advantage. As we see, they're already up in the base. We do see most of the map is going to be painted blue. The members of Not Trademarked just jumping in. Strawberry Supernova just trying to find some way in.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're not able to get pigs going in for trades. Actually, I take that back, but it only leaves the Stamper to defend for themselves against the Wiper right here, and that zone's ticks continue to go down. Zipcaptor is ready for start here, but just finding this Wiper unfortunately going down. I'm pretty sure, unless a miracle happens to Strawberry Supernova is able to get themselves in, I think I might just call it 2-1, and that is it. An unfortunate DC situation, but the game must go on here with Not Trademarked taking game 1.
I mean, yeah, I think it was their Jet Sculpture that DC'd as well. So, mind you, the loss of the player, they also lost a lot of range. They lost a lot of chip damage from either the toxic mist just slowing people down, the rain itself, or just the paint that Gel Sculpture provides. So it was just very unfortunate for them, but Not Trademarked. They just kind of did what they needed to do. They saw the opponent in front of them and they just beat them. But now, hopefully, Nintendo fixes their servers. They flip the right switch as we go to game number 2. Tower Control Mako Mart, and I have a hot take. I'm not the biggest fan of Mako Mart.
Which is what weapon you play?
I play sloshers and blasters.
Here's like this map. What are you on? This is like the slosher and blaster map TM, except like, well, arguably humpback, but it's a little bit of a silly map. It has a lot more obstacles, it has a lot more elevations, but it very much, I like this map personally. There's a lot to work with on this map. There's a lot of ledges, there's a lot of obstacles, there's a lot to look at on this map. Tower control especially is going to be very interesting because the tempo is set for you. You play at the tower's tempo, and you do have one less obstacle on this map actually on tower control compared to zones. So I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, when I say I'm not a big fan of this map, I'm not saying it's a bad map. It's just personal preference that I really, it's just not, it doesn't vibe with me, if that makes sense. It's like it's possibly like one of the most awkward maps for me. But I do think it's just a pretty good map. I do think the first checkpoint is very, very defender favored because you're at such a high disadvantage because you're right under plat. You're right below snipe, so enemies can just kind of drop on you, but thankfully you do have some defensive options. You do have the wall right next to you for a bit of mind games here and there, so we're gonna see how these teams can respond, as hopefully we pray for no more DCs.
Yeah, we can only have our fingers crossed as the match begins. We are seeing that Rapid Pro come out from the side of not Trademarked, which I really enjoy. That Slosher, I think, is another pick I really enjoy as well. Both of these going, whichever team's able to cut the other team's stack first is going to be basically smooth sailing from here. Usually the name of the game here for Mako Mart, both of the teams having their openings. We are seeing Plur, you already put some pressure on the opposing stack, but not without their junior going down on their, no, that's people going down on each, oh, never mind. 3 down on Trademarked. Ah, a wipeout.
Oh,
okay.
You know what? There it is. Strawberry Supernova, just the support of a Jet Squelch here is super good, because as you see right here, they're just able to take a lot of space for free. Jam with a nice Zuka kill, and with Toyota there with the rain assist, and not Trademarked trying to find some sort of defense, but Strawberry Supernova looking to just end this game as they're at the second checkpoint, and we're less than a minute into the game.
Indeed. This tower is moving. Strawberry Supernova is not wasting any time to get this tower moving and just trying to get any win that they can, any more points that they can here. Even better, try to end the game early. But members are going down left and right on either team right here. What?
Huh?
What? Actually, we get calm aired? We're cooked.
We're cooked. Nintendo broke something. They hit the wrong switch. Cooked. But yeah, so before we DC'd, I do want to say that was what was it? Strawberry Supernova. That was like a knockout through and through. They had the members of Not Trademarked staggered, they had specials, they had a lot of space. If we looked at it, most of the base of Not Trademarked was painted in Supernova's color. It was painted orange, so they were just unfortunate that we cannot see how this game ends, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Strawberry Supernova bring this to 1-1.
Yeah, because the thing is, we saw a really strong offense, but we don't know how the defense is going to look like. Because I've seen times where a team has an incredibly strong offense, but sometimes the other team also has strong offense, and that defense sometimes crumbles. Or maybe they'll see that offense all the way through, and they'll see a win on their end. We really have no way of knowing until we get that result at the end of the game.
Yeah, you know what? Some of these things just happen. Nintendo servers are some of the best servers in the industry, baby. Everybody knows it. This is where our money goes to. Let's go.
And it could also just be like sometimes the host's internet just doesn't agree with someone else's internet. That's happened to me before, where just we swap hosts and suddenly everything is fine. Like that one person that's DCing suddenly comes back and it's just like, what is happening? That's just average Splatoon behaviors, methinks.
Yeah, your average Nintendo online experience, just DCs for no reason.
As one does. It's just, I'm curious. My curiosity is going to kill me here, Topic, because like I want to know what What's going on back there?
Yeah, but unfortunately we will not be privy to that information until the support updates. But while we wait, I guess we can talk about our third game, which is going to be Manta Maria on Rainmaker.
Indeed. Wait, let me yeah, but I'm gonna see if I can find oh, let me see. What team? Strawberry Supernova. I might be able to see what's happening here actually, because they have a stream.
Okay, well, we're going to see what happens.
Oh, I don't think I got to see what happened last game yet. Do we have? No, I don't think we have. The game ended already. Looks like there's one person missing on that lobby, but I can't tell you who won or who lost.
No, you know, when Sendu updates, we'll be able to find this out really quickly.
Indeed. I thought I was gonna be able to catch it in time, but unfortunately not. But no, yeah. Speaking of Rainmaker, Manta, you were saying about Manta. You probably like Manta, don't you? You're a bucket player.
It's one of, okay, looks like Strawberry Supernova did knock it out, or they did win. But yeah, so I like Manta on Rainmaker specifically. I think it's my second favorite out of the four. If I had to say, I do think me personally, I do think Bunker, of course, on either side is possibly the best position to have or to take, because you get access to streets, especially on Rainmaker. You get access to street is very crucial, because you can just let the Rainmaker go very safely. You can clear out that top left side, because if you have a long range weapon like how Strawberry Supernova does have the Jet Squelcher, you get their Jet Squelcher on Bunker, you get that top left pretty free. In the Rainmaker, we have someone in front of the Rainmaker to kind of clear the elbow. That checkpoint is going to be pretty free for either side.
The thing is, the first checkpoint is a huge choke point right there. It's gonna be a bit too. It's a little bit annoying trying to get, because you're gonna be under crossfire like two to three different sections depending on what's kind of going on. So it's just getting past that. No, the street is not gonna be the bigger choke point. Let's be honest here. There's just a lot of spots that you have to wiggle through with Rainmaker Manta that like get really. I don't even want to rip my hair out topic.
Don't do that yet. We can't bald yet. But
I can't bald yet, you're right.
You can't bald yet. But yeah, I do think like the street getting past, I think the first checkpoint itself is not the hardest section. I think it's right after it. That street section is a pain to get to, because you're getting fired at possibly from Bunker, from a flank. You're getting fired at from elbow, because I'm waiting.
I think we're in. Yeah, no, we're in.
We are in. We do see Star going over to the Mint decaf, and on the side of, was that not Trademarked Sweet popping out with the not 79 for the splashdown. I could see some very aggressive pushes from either side here.
Oh no, absolutely. Oh, we're so cooked, dude.
Oh no,
we're so cooked. Wait, okay, I'm gonna take a peek on the. I'm gonna see if I can peek on the other side right here. Yep. What's it called? It looks like there's a lot of things going on. I have sights on a different stream right now, so I'm kind of seeing what's going on. Just a wee bit. It looks like oh dang. There's points happening. I forgot which team was which.
The yellow is the orange is Strawberry Supernova, and the blue is not trademarked, I believe. Yeah,
not trademarked is actually currently at a score of 33 points before there was another communication error on Strawberry's Supernova.
Oh no, this is this is $20 a year.
$20 a year. That was very unfortunate, because I just lost my eyes on that. But not trademarked already had like a really huge lead, so it could very well, unless they lost a player as well, it could very quickly go in not trademarked's favor.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because from what you're saying, it seems that Strawberry Supernova was the one that got pushes early, I say.
No, it was not trademarked. That got a 33-point push right off the bat.
Okay, so yeah, I could see that because 33 points, especially on Manta, is really not that much. It's past the first checkpoint, probably like halfway towards bunker, I want to say. I don't remember the exact point totals word the exact point positions word for word, but I know it's not really that far up, all things considered. So I could see like a counter push could be like super easy.
What's it called? I think it depends really, because they also get past that street point. It's that 33-point mark was right at the ledge before you can jump off to get to the checkpoint. No, yeah, you're right. You're technically still right. It's just a matter of getting past that street. So we don't know. We don't know. We're just stuck in waiting until
something happens.
Till something happens. Whew. On that waiting game here topic, I really it's just unfortunate that DCs happen and the eyes are shot just by seeing the stream I'm watching. Boom, they get DC'd too.
You know what, this is just very unfortunate timings, maybe. But I don't know, I don't know what to say. It's just very unfortunate timings.
Weather down there. You said I don't know what to say, so I was like, okay, we'll talk about the weather. Methinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are a huge waiting game. My eyes are peeled on the thingamajig. What's the Sendo page? There we go. My eyes are peeled for right here because waiting for it to update. It still shows 1-1. We are just waiting. We're on the waiting game here.
Because I believe, yes, because they already used their DC earlier, so they're just gonna have to just play it out. They're gonna just have to play it out, I guess. So whatever happens, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate indeed. It's just keep in mind. We talk about patch. The voices in our head are telling us to talk about the patch. Why did they buff shot?
I actually did not look at this patch, so this will be new information for me.
Let's look at it together, because I don't think I've looked at it fully. I saw when I was in class and I was like, patch notes Splatoon 3. Boom.
9.0.2 or 9.2.0.
Indeed. Because like, okay, so scatter of shots while on the reduce scatter of shots. Interesting. Hold on. Luna also got a buff, which is very interesting.
So larger radius for Lunas. I see. Let's see. L3's got less ink consumed. Actually, both L3 and E3 got reduced ink consumption. I think.
Which is, yeah.
I don't think that changes their place in the meta per se, but I do think it'll at least help them be more consistent.
Nozzle Truthers are having a great day today.
Yeah, Nozzle Truthers they're celebrating.
Yeah, also GoodTuber also had a little bit of a buff just by, lowering the time it takes to charge. Which, woo!
Yeah, let's see, what else? Dowser Dualies. Interesting. Okay, so they just made it, they made Dowser Dualies be able to act quicker out of a dodge roll.
Indeed. Also, Undercover Umbrella getting their shield back just a 0.3 seconds faster, from 4.0 seconds to 3.7 seconds.
I mean, I could see that, because I'm a fan personally of Undercover, because I think it is possibly one of my favorite designed weapons in the game. If like one of the best, like, because it's entire gimmick is that it's supposed to be a very supportive weapon, right? You break your shield very quickly, but if you get an assist or a kill, you're able to regenerate that shield super quickly. So I think the weapon itself, it kind of allows, or it kind of encourages very good support play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it can also be used as a distraction. The undercover is a very interesting one because it doesn't stop its fire rate, and it can very much be used as a distraction to drag people to you to break your shield and have someone else crossfire. Also, speaking of what's in front of us, we have our final score. Not Trademarked took that last game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't know how close it was, but I'm just gonna assume it was very close, and that's how we're gonna do it.
And we're gonna say it was the closest game of all time. It went 1-2. It was like right there, probably the best match you guys have ever seen.
Yep. You mean the best match you've never seen?
Indeed.
So with our final score 2-1, Not Trademarked will win round number 3, and with that will be the end of the group stage of SOS, as we're gonna take another very short break as we get into the bracket. So stay right there, because there's even more Splatoon action and maybe a lot less DCs coming to you.
Indeed. Hello. We are back from our break to bring you swim or sink. Oh, and so I guess we're sinking too. 169 here. We have a nice set of maps and a nice set of teams here. We have wagagaggaga and Coral Flowers facing off here and the first match of Great White. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I am joined by the lovely Topic. Do say hello.
Hi. That's
okay, you're doing okay, whatever. You don't get to talk anymore. Anyway, we got some two teams, nice and ready, and we're starting on quite a staple map as well. I'm like, go talk. I'll be nice.
I thought I said don't talk.
Oh, now you're gonna be like that with me.
All right, okay, anyway.
I got you. Actually, no, you don't get to talk anymore. You won't be like that. Fine, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna call him Wag because Wag is kind of funny. We have Wag versus Coral Reefs on Mako Mart Zones. Now, I said it before, I am not the biggest fan of Mako Mart, though I do see that is a very, very good map mode. Now, on Zone specifically, it's a plus-shaped zone. I think taking care of the stacks is the most important, mainly because if you get stacks, you can go to the enemy plat relatively easily. So I would be surprised if you see both teams kind of contest either stack to try to get some early advantage.
We might see Carbon. You want to bet? Carbon, baby! Let's go. I saw the badges. That was me cheating. But you are right. We are. Oh, I love this song. Anyway, sorry, the demons took over me. We are seeing blasters on either side as well. We have a lot of ledge camping options from each side, seeing 2 to 3 option to camp those ledges, especially when it's going to be helpful on those stacks. But it looks like Coral Flowers is able to get that person down and taking 2 members down off of so they're looking with those numbers.
I mean, yeah, they're looking really, really good. And I think for Wag there, you see the double blaster comp. It can work, just a matter of can you get them in. An unfortunate drop there into Tan's Reef Slider, and now Coral Flowers just looking to kind of keep this advantage going. They have a lot of space. You got the Carbon doing what Carbons do and just be a little annoying rat there. It's going to work out in their favor as Coral Flowers, with a lot of space to work with, they're forcing Wag to just pop a lot of specials but not get a whole lot out of it, as they're getting it down to 30 with no real contest to zone in sight.
No real contest indeed, as we're in the last 26 right here. It's going to be a lot of effort here from wagagaggaga to try and get themselves in right here. Bats are going down as well. I think that might be it. That's 2 down again on wagagaggaga, and to make it 3, that is game in the favor of Coral Flowers. Just as fast as it started and ended. Oh my goodness.
I mean, that's just, I don't know, that was very dominant. They got into position and they just left the Wag out to dry, and that's exactly what happened, because once they saw that word go, once they were ready, they just did not let their foot off the gas. They got zone, they got the picks, they got the stagger, they got the cooler ready. They just kept on going, and unfortunately for Wag, they were just in the way. But we'll see, can they bounce back as we go to a map we saw not that long ago, Clan Blitz Museum d'Alfonsino.
The same principles apply as last time. Museum is very much a game where you can either stall a mid out really hard, you can have a team absolutely run it down to the basket and choose to overpower with speed and, well, power. Museum is personally a backline favorite of mine for totally not obvious reasons.
I mean, listen, I do see why this is a very not backline favored map. I do see why backlines like this map a lot, because you can really sit on your side of plat and just kind of play some laser tag with the opponents in mid to see what works. And on either side, we don't see no backliners from either side, so very, very aggressive. We do see Drago switching over to the Minsky cap, so that bubble to keep their team in once they score.
Indeed, I also want to mention the names. The names are very silly. I love to see it. But indeed, I do like that decaf pick a lot. It's very much, okay, screw it, we dash, we go forward, we run, and I want to see that happen. I want to see them get some picks, get themselves going, cool it up, ready to go right here. Able to get a pick. Ooh, there's going to be picks going out.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a wipeout in the favor of Wagagaggaga already off the bat. They are not hesitating, putting that bubble down, putting that wall in, not wasting any time. There are those whales, everything led to this moment, and it only took 30 seconds.
I mean, yeah, that 180 from Drago really started it off, but unfortunately for Wag, they're not able to get a whole lot out of it. Getting it to 68, that's pretty decent, but usually for Clam Blitz, you want to get your first push under 60, so it takes 2 power clams for a team to break through. But now Coral Flowers in scoring position, very, very threatening. They have Tan there with the reef side of him. They're going to pop it to get the force their way in. There it is. They're going to get one victim and jump out, but not too far, so they're able to keep it going. Coral Flowers will score first. A couple more clams in reserve. The Tufa is able to pop the Kraken just in time, but will they follow up in time? I don't think they will. It's just the Zap and the Range Blaster. The Zap gets a couple more. Sam able to at least go for a trade, but that might be the end of the push if Tan can't get this power in. Nope, they decide not to.
That is going to be it. Amongst all that pressure, yeah. Well, I just want to mention how well that Reslider earlier used that rotate from their cooler. Like their jump, rotate, chef's kiss. I had to talk about that for a second because I was like, yes. But we are already seeing Wagagaggaga move their way in, already not giving Coral Flowers a second to breathe here, but it's not going to go in their favor as much as they thought it would, as just everyone is getting sent back to spawn. But it looks like Loca still has a member up and running. Or not, bye-bye.
I mean, hey, they have a power. It's better to just not lose it into enemy territory and have it disappear. Better just to retreat and live for it and fight for another day. As Coral Flowers now back into mid, trying to go back into threatening scoring position. But unfortunately for them, Tan's going to go down, so there's no Reef Slider. Another one's going to go down. Tufa forced to pop the Kraken. Able to get one out of it, though. And Coral Flowers managed to salvage a bad situation, turn it into a 2-for-2 trade. As you see, they are still here. They are still threatening on the plat of Wag here, as Wag trying to pop something to make it work. There's the Reef Slider going in for Tan in the backlands, but they're going to get shut down almost immediately. And it looks like that push is going to stop before it even starts.
Indeed, unfortunately, they weren't with that Reef Slider in order to make bigger waves, as there's a blaster right behind them. But that Jugo coming out from Rose, just trying to find a pick, trying to find anything to give their team another bit of advantage. Unfortunately, the Jugo not able to find the picks necessary to move their team up a little bit more forward. But that blaster is able to go down on the side of Wagagaggaga. So it looks like we're going to be stuck in a bit of a neutral here until one team finds a dominant entry again.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens, especially on Museum, where it can be boiled down to who can control the ramp better, as we are about a minute and 40 seconds left into this game. Coral Flowers on their back foot as Wag is looking to threatening to score. Unfortunately, the ball is going to go down. Tufa's going to go down as well. Tane here playing some nice defense, going to get a shot onto one. Not able to confirm the kill yet, but the Carbon able to at least force a jump out, but the Carbon going to be forced to jump, are going to go down themselves. And now Wag, they're on the plat of Coral Flowers looking to score here.
No, indeed, and we're here. Tiger just going in for kills. Unfortunately, well, no, they were able to make space and get the team some extra room to make some more points. And we are seeing people coming to jump in. That blaster's holding the ground down. There goes another pity in extra power points here for Wagagaggaga. But I think that might be it with the rest of Coral Flowers trying to move their way in. Unless, oh no, you feel win, so we're going in for more.
I mean, yeah, they got a couple more in, and that's kind of the beauty or the strength of that Rapid Blaster Pro Deco, the longest weapon name in the game for some whatever reason, is that you can just kind of sit there. You have the whale, you have the point or the angle shooter, you have the weapon itself, just a very long range threat that you have to respect, because if not, you're gonna go down. Coral Flowers able to get another pick. Wag going 2 down, 3 down. That's delayed. That's gonna be a wipeout on side of Coral Flowers, and now Wag looking to score, but the Carbon will shut that down, but not before the power is confirmed.
The power confirmed indeed, but it only is that power in for the push here, as Coral Flowers is quickly making their way to the ramp of Wagagaggaga, trying to find a push of their own with only 10 seconds left. They need to make a huge push to meet and pass that score of 32. You can't hesitate. You got to go in and you got to find some sort of entry to confirm that push.
Yeah, but here we are into overtime. Coral Flowers, they're able, not quite able to score, and that will be it. The power is going to be into no man's land, and the WAG will be able to force a game number 3, possibly. Yeah, looks like that'll be it. You see the members of Coral Flowers kind of rush forward, but it's not going to be it. And the WAG was a solid defense, some very clutch defense, able to force game 3 and keep their tourney hopes alive.
Indeed, 1 for 1. So it really is down to the wire. It's like all stakes are here for whichever team wants to move forward in the bracket right here. Great job right there for WAG for evening the score. I love that name.
I mean, it is kind of fun. A little bit. It's a little fun, but a little annoying after the first couple of times. But enough about names, as we're going to go to our final game of round 1, Splat Zone's Umami, another Tetris piece.
This one also has a nasty lockout as well. What's the reason the silly lockouts? I don't know.
I mean, the lockout here is really difficult, especially if the opponent does have the silo area in their color, because now they can basically go up to your spawn. They can spawn camp you really well. So this map, it really pays to not get spawn camp. I know that's kind of facetious to say, just like, hey, just don't get spawn camps, duh. But at the same time, it's like, if you get staggered or if you get pushed back too far, it can be incredibly difficult to get out. You're going to be forced to use 1, 2, 3, heck, maybe all 4 of your specials just to get the opponents out of your face. And then you won't have anything else to respond when they use their specials to get back in.
Yeah, it really is down to whichever team can hold that lockout. Arguably, I'm mixing my words. You're gonna want to be the first team to lock out because it just gives you inherently the biggest advantage and the biggest number of points. Another thing, it's Umami zones, so those zones are very easy to keep in neutral. If you can neutralize one zone, you have the chance of staying in the game a lot longer and just stalling those numbers to prevent any further damage. So this is what I can do. Also, that mid, you want it yours. That middle center, that is what calls whether this mid is yours or not. So I want to see how these teams are going to play around that.
I mean, but look at WAG's comp. They decided to go with an X-Blosher, one of my favorite zones weapons in particular, because it's just oppressive. That's the best way I could put it. You have just a lot of paint going down, but unfortunately for them, Coral Flowers just disregards and puts all caution to the wind as they're able to get the first cap and push WAG at least back a little bit right before the zones.
Indeed, and they're fighting for it too. I'm going 1 for 1 on each side right here, but the zones are going to split in the favor of wagagaggaga. As a decaf, I already see you trying to move in. I see you trying to make waves here, but I'll think to wait for a little bit more of the team's guidance here.
I mean, yeah, because thankfully for WAG, the decap does have bubble at the ready, so they're able to counter whatever Coral Flowers throw at them. As you do see 2 specials from Coral Flowers at the ready. They have the Zuka, they have the Reslider, not anymore. Another one's gonna go down. Coral Flowers gonna go down, and the WAG look at you, just hold on for dear life. Drago with a nice one shot there. Another one for Coral Flowers gonna go down. Tanner with the Reslider, not able to do a whole lot. It's just the 1 member remaining. They're gonna go down as well, and WAG just looking to continue the snowball.
Indeed. Look at them go. Already, these points are ticking down immensely. Only 26 left before the end of the game. And, Coral Flowers is already neutralizing. They're trying to find an entry, trying to find a way to cap both of these zones because they want to stay in the game. But the down for a while. I think that might be... It's only enough to switch 1. Oh, really went back and forth. There we go.
There we go. WAG, that looked really bad for them, but resilience, they're able to hold on through Coral Flowers' assault, and just like that, they're able to win game number 3, and they will move on despite Coral Flowers having a very dominant first game.
Yeah, that was like the testing the waters right there before WAG just went and said, okay, I understand now, and just went all the way in on it. They were not playing that Clan Blitz game. They were set in stone and Splat zones. I think once they were to get that really good lockout, I'm like, it was crazy because they went back and forth. They were fighting so hard in mid, and I blinked and I was like, wait, who? I mixed up the colors at that point. I was like, wait, who got it? And then Waga is just like, we got it, and taking it home for that last game.
I mean, yeah. To be frank, it was just like at the very end, it was just coral flowers. They just threw everything in the kitchen sink at wagagaggaga, and unfortunately, it just didn't work. It was just one. I believe it was 1 or 2 members of wagagaggaga actually survived, and they were able to get 3, get the wipeout. As you saw at the very end, everyone they knew it was over, and unfortunately for Coral Reefs, this is where the tourney run ends.
Indeed, but on the side of Wire, they're going to be moving forward onto the next stage of bracket. So congratulations to them for making it much further here on Great White. Yeah, this is Great White here, but that also signifying, Wire won their match here, but that also signifies the end of our block here topic.
Yeah, you know what? It was fun, but of course we have a load of housekeeping to do. So, Fufu, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at @SplatFufu on either Twitter or Blue Sky, whichever one you want there. I do commentary, as you guys see here, art, and of course I have my little backline shenanigans, so feel free to follow me there. Topic, where can the lovely people find you?
You can find me also on Twitter and Blue Sky at Topical2, mainly about where I'm commentating. If you want to hear Dreadringer propaganda, or you want to see the ramblings of a madman talk about how Xenoblade X is the best of the 4, fight me on that. But yeah, with that being said, that'll be it from our block, but stick around because we have the great Rocket and the lovely Kyon coming up on the mic next. So of course, stay in your seats, everyone, because we got quarterfinals of SOS 169, a very nice edition, coming up to you soon. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Swimmer Sync 169. The rest of Great White Brackets is upon us. My name is Keon. With me on the mic is Rocket. Rocket, first of all, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderful, Keon, and yes, we are well into our way for our top cut here, and we have already a pretty stacked lineup here on both sides and a very heavyweight matchup already, Keon.
How did I roll TZS somehow when I'm on the mic? This is kind of funny for me. I can talk a lot about TZS, but we gotta get this show on the road here. TZS, of course, a very well-known team across the circles that some of you guys might be familiar with. Of course, Kraken, DRF, Pepe, Pork, Vapor, and Siren's also on that list. And then, of course, you got the pickup team, Rocket. I see Jeff's name in there. Viva la Vida Loca, which, by the way, is a fantastic team name. Pickup team name, rather.
Yeah, for sure. And they are made up by, I believe, remnants of another team. I believe two of their team members, Nana and Tam, are part of a different team, self-taught brain surgeons. And just taking a look at the Sendo profile for that team, it is amazing. It's basically just like a skeleton in a doctor suit smoking. And just as a side note, that is amazing. That is very elite. But yes, this is the pickup team for the team. And like you mentioned, Enraged, Jeff, Lucas, Nana, and Tam. So very interesting to see, and something that I'm definitely going to keep an eye on is obviously TZS's Brush, Kraken Mare, and Enraged Jeff Sploosh.
Yeah, you know, I actually had a brief moment. I had to confirm this was the Sploosh Jeff, and if it was Sploosh Jeff, I'm like, oh, cool, we get Jeff on Sploosh duty here against, as you know, the Brush lead in Kraken. I was supposed to say Vapor as the Brush lead. Vapor does not play Brush. If Vapor suddenly played Brush Rock, I'm gonna have a lot of questions with him right after the show. No, Kraken is the one that is playing Brush for y'all here today. And of course, I know Pepe, almost your Splattershot extraordinaire. Splattershot's, of course, getting... I know people have been talking about the Splattershot buffs around the circles that I've been around. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to be, but of course the usual narrative, Rocket, is, what, Splattershot buff again? And that's always been the resounding no. But either way, though, we got some great specialists on TZS, and I'm actually kind of excited to see how TZS plays. And Jeff and the rest of the group on Viva la Vida Loca, how they perform. Hopefully, I get to see a Jeff Sploosh, but who knows how this best of 3 goes.
Yeah, really just talking about that buff to the shots. Really, it's just to see if we can throw in a couple of T-Techs here and there, because obviously Splash has been really rising up in terms of what we see a lot, like at least the past month or two here. And allowing T-Tech to maybe join in the mix of shooters with having that Tri-Strike obviously can provide for just some more just diversity in that. But moving aside from comps, we're looking at our first map here, which is Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi. What are your thoughts on this map mode?
You know, it's the only map. You know, it's the only map and mode combination for Mahi Mahi Resort that's been viable even after the changes they made years ago, Rocket. And the only thing they made was basically make the map much bigger than it once was. So I mean, I kind of like this map overall with how this map progresses, especially past the 60-point marker. Especially with the way both of them, these players can play, especially if I see Kraken out there on the board, Jeff out there on the board as well, for the players I'm going to be looking out for on both teams. See how they get to fare. Other thing I'm kind of curious though is if we see Viva la Vida Loca do play a backline for any particular reason, how does Vapor, if Vapor does get to play on this map mode combination, how the backlines get to hold the line? We shall see. Yes, Vapor and Kraken on the board, and of course the same 4 members there on Viva la Vida Loca, which by the way, TZS is on the alpha side. Ooh. Bravo side, of course, Viva la Vida Loca, Bravo being, of course, purple. And one of the interesting weapons I've seen, other than Jeff on Sploosh, which, that amazing Sploosh build, by the way, you see the Mint Decaf. Mint Decaf actually had a minor nerf there with a lot of paint needed now, just an extra 10 paint. To basically build up that bubble sets, but that weapon is still getting a lot of fun use time, which, by the way, TZS is going to get the first capital zone right away if you Rocket.
Yeah, also something I'm noticing from Viva la Vida Loca, they have 2 coolers on the board, Keon, so they are going to be playing hyper aggressive here. You have the zap, you have the pencil, so that's basically signaling to me that Enraged Jeff is just going to go head first, no fear, and so is the rest of Viva Loca. But already still, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy have been able to at least hold the zone for a little bit, still being contested here, but able to match the energy that Viva la Vida have been able to do. And just like that, they're out of their penalty and now in a great position to go for the lockout. Unless Enraged Jeff has something to say about it with the stamp, managing to find 2, trying to find an opening for the rest of their team to come in, and they are flowing in.
That's what we call an Ultra Stamp moment there, Rocket, with the funny little physics there that the Ultra Stamp does. Jeff was able to find too, and that actually kind of opens everything up here for Viva La Vida Loca with the way their comp does play out. You mentioned before the double cooler, they can play ultra aggressive there, just go full send, get everybody to play super aggressively as much as they can. But TCS, nice little counter attack there. They're able to get the bubble popped, which allows 3 members to go down from Viva La Vida Loca. It's a great collapse. Lead that to the wipeout. That should be a quick lead change going the other direction. And normally I see the points go down past 60. We're kind of a minute and a half in. We're going to be seeing that now. This is where we get to see the map expand a little bit more, and the advantage for TCS needs to be sooner rather than later. And that's what I'm going to be intrigued to see here, Rocket.
Yeah, Kraken sharking, waiting for an opportunity to strike, and there's the opportunity right there. Will there be any picks out of the way? No, not quite, but Enraged Jeff does actually finally fall, and there, as soon as I say it, Kraken will find 2, which will allow Triggerfish Zones to have still a strong hold onto this. You see the Killer Whale and the Explosion coming out from Vapor, trying to keep this in a lockout situation. Enraged Jeff with that stamp won't quite find much value. 15 ticks left, and Keeley, the bubble and splashdown are available for this in an attempt, in a chance that they were trying to retake it, but will there be any retake by them? No, there will not be a retake as Triggerfish Zone Supremacy locked down that fort, and just like that, puts the first game on the board of the set.
First game on the board here for TZS here, and TZS ultimately did a great job holding the line. I feel like there were many different chances for Viva La Vida Loca to be able to get the cooler set up, especially allow them to play full aggressive. We saw right before they cap it off at 67 points remaining how they were kind of set up for such an aggressive push, but they were just ultimately shut down there. Kraken did get a few assists, and TZS never looked back. That's a great start for them, Rocket. And hey, TZS one more in this best of 3. One more map to go. Inkblot TC, almost a staple of TC Target Control maps here.
Yeah, and just taking a look and just what we saw from Viva La Vida Loca is just comp. It seemed like an all or nothing type of comp. I mean, you had the 2 coolers there to play around the 2 front lines, obviously, and Rage Jeff on that sploosh and the mid to Cafeteria, just letting them really operate really without any fear at all. But if you don't have either of those coolers up, it really kind of just limits what you tried to do. And with the lockout ability that Triggerfish Zone Supremacy's lineup had, I mean, you saw the Explosher, you saw the Brush in just such great use of it, just sharking and just popping up out of nowhere and basically denying these backlines from Vida La Vida Loca from supporting the front 2. It just really cuts off that supply chain, and once that's cut off, you just cut off the head of the snake, and then the rest just dissipates.
It really just boils down to the knowledge of how TCS knows how to play their weapons there, Rocket. And if you're not familiar with TCS, not just, for everybody who's tuning in, most of their comps almost predicated towards a specific game style and specific gameplays. So, and they were able to take full advantage of it very well in Mahi Mahi Resort Zones. And the thing I'm going to be intrigued to see is the adaptation here for Viva La Vida Loca here in the Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control. This one's going to be a little intriguing here because you could be seeing a little bit more control of that backline. You could be seeing more opportunities for Kraken to shark with that brush. And then, of course, Enraged Jeff. Well, you get the idea. Enraged Jeff will continue to pop off there with that sploosh, with that Ultra Stamp. We kind of saw some great things out of Jeff there with that double that we saw from earlier. Question is, can they get it all working out here in this SOS Weekly? I feel that's going to be the ultimate question.
Yeah, I feel like as well, I'm not sure if they're gonna run that double cooler again, because it didn't seem to find as much success as they were maybe hoping for or envisioned. As maybe I'm thinking like all the weapons will probably remain the same. I mean, maybe the Cafeteria, I wouldn't be surprised, would return because of that bubble that you have on it, and obviously the others would remain firm. Maybe the Zap would change to maybe a more midline friendly comp to prevent that double cooler, but we will see right now. And yes, there is actually 2 changes there: Neo Splash and the Wiper being brought out now, so double stamp.
You know, if one hammer wasn't enough, why not dish out the second hammer? You have 2 hammers on the board. I kind of get the idea though with this hammer. And by the way, the Neo Splash, not just for paint, but also for the trip strikes there. You see a lot of trip strikes being used in tower control maps in any variety here. As Ultra Solo just going to use the trip strikes, really just get any sort of control around the map there for Viva La Vida Loca. So you're going to see a lot more painting right out of the gate here for Viva La Vida Loca, as Jeff stamps out 2, no problem whatsoever. It is going to get shut down. This will be of course an early push of the zone, and what I was going to say was TZS is going to be behind, and well, they would have been behind with the perma 1 down. I believe they're just going to restart that. That's exactly what we're going to see here.
Yeah, quick rewind a little bit. At least gives us a little bit of an opportunity to kind of digest the new comp that Vida La Vida Loca are running here. Obviously, we mentioned that double stamp, and not only, and like you mentioned, being able to run that double stamp provides that so much pressure that you can really enable yourself to get in. And when I always see double stamp, I always think of Pac-Man, like Pac-Man Ghost. Like, I don't know why. That's basic, that the ghosts are those stamps and the enemy players are Pac-Man. You just have to respect it so much. And with a player, like we saw right off the get-go, Enraged Jeff managed to find 2. It always seems like they find multi-kills, not just ever 1, but 2. So definitely something that TZS has to keep an eye on. But so far, they did pretty well in at least mitigating the damage done.
You know, I actually am thinking of the Pac-Man analogy, but I was actually kind of thinking of it in reverse there, Rocket. I'm not gonna lie. If you had 2 stamps there, I guess you could say that Pac-Man ate two big pellets and then tried to chase the ghost with it with its own stamp. That's kind of where my brain was. I think you took it in the other direction there, which actually.
I mean, it could be Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man. I can see where you're coming from.
It could very much be Mr. and Miss Pac-Man. We're gonna reboot the game here, no problem. TZS is gonna stick with the same, and of course, I expect the same here on the other side. And the only big difference I noted there from Viva La Vida Loca, Rocket, is more painting on the board. So really more opportunities for players to just move forward. I think they're going to use Ultra Soul pretty much in that mid line, trying to help support the team with a lot of paint that they have. And of course, that's what the Neo Splash does well. So let's see how this all plays out, especially in the rebooted game where both teams really didn't progress too much further.
Yeah, 2 players down already for Vida La Vida Loca, and with the removal of that mid to Cafeteria, TZS will be that team with the bubble on the junior being Smork here. So it's going to be really interesting to see that now only one side having that bubble. It could be that slight edge that you could give to TZS if Vida La Vida Loca can't find an answer, but finding an answer is seemingly what they're doing here, as 3 players are down for Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, as the rest of Vida La Vida Loca are able to rally behind Enraged Jeff and the other members here with 2 specials online as well, Keeley, both the stamps. Things could get really dangerous really fast.
Things could get dangerous in a hurry here, but at least what TZS is doing really well is kind of mitigating the damage that Jeff could easily do. Well, Jeff is focusing on one, the rest of TZS collapse on the other, and we see another 3 players down. Only Jeff the only one live at that stage, and it's going to kickstart yet another push. This time control plat once more from TZS, as you do get to see Pepe with that Zuka trying to see if they can find any pressure with those Zuka shots. Not able to find any, but more importantly, this could be the second checkpoint that could be cleared out super quick, which it will be. All important second checkpoints done. Hammer somehow misses Viva. That could be a lot at the grand scheme of things. Pepe is right now playing as aggressive as they can. Staggered trip strikes are there, and this is TZS kind of right away with the base and a whole lot more here, Rocket.
Yeah, they're rolling through this here, Keon, and they might go straight for the knockout if this snowball keeps rolling, and it's turning down the hill, down to the 7-point mark here. But Viva La Vida Loca are just holding on by a hair. Smork being the only player left for Triggerfish Zone Supremacy in the general area. Pepe, no, actually still also alive. We'll try to pull out the Zuka to try to make something happen, but will eventually go down. Now Vida La Vida Loca will at least be able to breathe a little bit, but look at the damage that has been done by TZS.
All important second checkpoint. Once that second checkpoint breaks, that's where things can get out of control if TZS was able to take advantage. Shoutouts to the unfortunately missed Ultra Stamp that also basically catapulted that lead down to 95 points cashed in. So really just a few missed opportunities that kind of meant a whole lot more points on the board. But TZS, a lot of credit to them being able to hold the line firm and being able to keep up with the aggression that we're seeing past plat and onto their base. And they could be doing this stuff again here, but they're gonna have to slow down just a little bit more. 2 players down, no real need to get aggressive at this stage here, Rocket.
Yeah, they're on cruise control, but they still have plenty of time to work through, as 2 minutes are left in this game. Ultra Jeff managing to find a quick triple there on that right side, and now continuing to try to cause damage, trying to get this flank off, trying to just make their presence known so far into the side of TZS, but will eventually go down. But their presence might be enough for the rest of Vida La Vida Loca to get in. However, on the back end of things, Vida La Vida do go 3 players down, so Triggerfish Zone Supremacy have been able to match that aggressiveness, barely managing to jump out, very close right there. But so far, Vida La Vida have not yet been able to cap the first checkpoint.
And the tough thing is you kind of see Jeff on a mission. You see those awesome triple there that we saw from Jeff earlier, but the rest of the team gets collapsed on so quick from TZS that TZS is not really paying too much mind to Jeff's just going to focus on the other targets that are on the board. It's actually just what could have easily been a push that could snowball out of control. TZS has done a great job to keeping pace and being able to limit the damage as much as possible. But for Viva La Vida Loca, they still have a lot of pain. There's still plenty of time for them to really still get something big going here at the stage, but the Trip Strike's really trying to build up any sort of pressure that they have, but the Wiper has gone down, and so does Jeff on that sploosh. The pencil has been collapsed on as well, and again, Viva La Vida Loca trying to set up more on Plat's side, and it just falls apart once more, not even clearing the first checkpoint here, Rocket.
Yeah, still we see that. Unfortunate there. We saw Zuka versus Stamp at the end there, but that just crashed on us. So yeah, it just crashed the game. The power of it just all at once.
Look, apparently, if you guys wanted to see a battle between a Zuka and a Hammer, it was just too much for everything. They're just like, no, we're not letting you. We gotta cut the feed, cut the TV feed, cut everything live here real quick. We cannot showcase that in front of the audience. Obviously, looks like some sort of a disconnect issue here. But it looks like from what I've heard, but it looks like with nobody really paying mind, it looks like this game might just be playing out as it stands. We'll just have to wait for what we hear on the other side here, Rocket, to see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. That just like cutoff just reminds me of like any anime, just like cliffhangers. Yeah. It's like, we will be back for their next, and then it just cuts it off at the best moment. It's like, no, we could not see the glorious fight. I mean, we can always assume, like, based on how far the Stamp was into that Zuka, we can kind of assume how that fight was ending, but who knows? Maybe that Zuka got a miracle shot or something. I don't know. Maybe just shot somebody in the background instead of that Stamp, but we will never know.
It kind of harkens back to a previous time I worked with a fellow commentator. We occasionally get these a lot. That's the stuff, by the way, sort of happens, y'all. So we ended up having to put it all together. Which path does all this go? Does it lead to one way or the other? Did the Zuka win the fight? Did the Hammer win the fight? Did TZS win the game, which we saw here? That's really the ultimate question. But obviously, all paths led to TZS winning Inkblock TC. So from what it looks like, it was just indeed a spectator crash there, which again, the sort of stuff, as you know, it happens, Rocket. So TZS will come home with a 2-0 victory. It looks like TZS was able to hold. I mean, let's be real here, Rocket as well. If it was a tough lead, it was a kind of a tough comeback that they needed to pull off. They needed a lot of things to go their way for Viva La Vida Loca to continue on.
Yeah, but we still saw, at least the majority of the game, that we were able to see Triggerfish Zone Supremacy were able to put on that aggression, play to their natural style, and really dominate in that classic fashion over very, very, very good players in Vida La Vida Loca. But with that, I believe we're going to take a very short break, as Triggerfish Zone Supremacy will move up to face our number 1 seed, Healthy Diet Food Groups, while our other semifinals matchup has not yet been determined, as the Cafeteria will stand there, will be waiting patiently between and waiting to see who meets them. But yeah, we'll be right back for our semifinals here shortly. We are back for Swimmer Sync 169. Now we are in best of 5 as we are starting off our semis here. And Keon, we have a very interesting matchup between the Cafeteria versus Lego FORTDAY. Get it? Because it's Sunny? I get it, because there's a player named Sunny. But anyways, despite that, I think we're just going to jump straight into things here on Splatzone's Robo Ramen. Taking a look at these comps here, we will see the S-Blast coming out from one side and another, the Tenebrella coming out from Goji there. I believe that is Lego FORTDAY. Yes, that is Lego FORTDAY that will be running that Tenebrella. Tenebrella is a weapon that I see very commonly on Barnacle and Dime, but not only Barnacle and Dime zones, but also Robo Ramen. So it rarely doesn't surprise me to see it here, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of Lego FORTDAY plays around this. Rolling things here. We will see, however, Lego FORTDAY getting off to an early lead here with the amount of presence that they have, the amount of paint they have, but the Stamp will manage to find one. The Stamp is going in, trying to maintain control of the zone, but the Cafeteria is saying, nah, we are trying to stay in this, but that will get quickly shut down in itself by a quick Zuka there. The specials are all coming online for Lego FORTDAY, as now the Cafeteria will have to roll back and try to recollect themselves for another time. Just trying to get things going here, and just continuous pressure here by Cafeteria to try to contest things. We will only have one player standing left for the Cafeteria, that Splatana, just trying to find an opening, but so far Lego FORTDAY has just clamped up all the members of the Cafeteria, who are a really, really well put together team. You see the Crab on that top left coming out from Karma, just trying to find any opening for Soda and the rest of the other team. Soda will manage to find Ode to Joy, and with that, Cafeteria will finally get some points on the board, forcing that massive penalty onto Lego FORTDAY, and continuing to keep up this pressure is going to be the key for them in just trying to get back into the game, because even though there is a massive lead in the favor of Lego FORTDAY, Cafeteria can easily snowball this, because without any penalty to worry about, one or two team fights and just like that they'll be in the game, especially with Karma having this Crab available to them. They can really find an opening, but with two players going down, they need to be really, really worried about how this is going to roll. But just like that, Lego FORTDAY already back in the zone, already with all that cap, so we'll just wait here to see if they can get any more points on the board here as they try to make it through their penalty. Continuing with this, we will see Karma yet again has that Crab. Actually, 3 players have it for Cafeteria. You see the Booyah Bomb, the Stamp, and potentially the Crab going out all at once, but the Stamp will go into favor of Ode to Joy, in favor of Lego FORTDAY, but the Crab that I mentioned earlier is finally being popped by Karma, and just like that, Cafeteria will have control of the zone, and now it is their turn to mark through their own penalty. We've seen so far how back and forth this has been, and I'm not surprised at all, because both these teams are at the top of the class of these elite players here. Cafeteria, previously Prism Break number 3 winners, so they've been in this level before. In Lego FORTDAY, many of these players you see have been around the scene for a long time, but let's see if they can continue up this, as now Cafeteria out of their penalty, they are able to really operate without any pressure. They just have to rely on Karma, on this Crab, and their quick 1-2 fights here. Keely, they will take control and they will get the lead, but just like that, they will lose the zone in a quick fashion. Just the quick counterattacks that we see from both these teams, it has been absolutely huge for them, and now they're nearing the end of their penalty as well. And continuing to apply it, they are almost out of their penalty as well here, and just like that, the lead will be switched yet again. Now Cafeteria in the hot seat, trying to get back into things. You see Soda at the bottom with the Stamp, you see Karma with the Crab, and that Crab has just been a lifeline for how Cafeteria want to stay into this. We see the Tenebrella also have special as well for the retake, and what I mentioned at the beginning of this game, that Tenebrella, why it is so vital, why it's so good, is just the amount of area that it covers right here. You see it covers the entire lane and provides an area for that Zuka to operate. You see the specials going out from both sides, but Cafeteria will still maintain control of the zone, trying to get out of that penalty to try to flip things, but the Tenebrella and the rest of Lego FORTDAY will jump onto the zone really quickly. 2 players down for Cafeteria, and now on their back foot, potentially on their last leg here. They need to get something going if they want to stay within this, because so far Goji with this Tenebrella has been a problem. Just not even with getting kills, not only does Tenebrella really allow that, but just the space and the respect that the players of the Cafeteria have to pay it. They need to find its weakness, and finding its weakness is going to be the key of how they're trying to get back into things. They will manage to retake the zone here, though. You see 15 seconds left, overtime looms us. If they want to get this game and get on the board, they need to make sure this hold is a strong one. 8 seconds left, nearing overtime, and nearing the end of the penalty is Cafeteria. You see the stamp going in, though, for Lego FORTDAY to try to cap things, but things are so close, still contested in the mid. Cafeteria will still manage to hold on a little bit. You see the Booyah Bomb being played as well, just to try to keep control of things. You see Goji with the Zuka to also contest, but still it is all blue in mid as we are now ticking down actual points. No more penalty. This could be huge for Cafeteria to steal this with 3 players down for Lego FORTDAY, and with a wipeout that will secure things for the Cafeteria, taking game 1 in this set. And apologies to you, dear viewers, if I do seem out of breath. I am a little bit, we're working with some little issues in the background here, but I am currently the only one on mic, so a little apologies if I do seem exacerbated. But despite that aside, what a wonderful comeback from the Cafeteria. I mean, we saw how well they were able to constantly meet that resistance in kind. I mean, it's not about who punches first, it is about who punches last, and they stood strong. Now we see that a lot. Usually now we see the constant pressure that we can really bring back from teams. I mean, really, comebacks have been like the majority of our victories that we've seen here. I mean, when it comes to Splatoon competitive, it's not surprising at all if you're down very, very early and then are able to come back in such an amount of time. But yeah, what a game from them. But it is definitely not over for them at all, as we still have 4 more games potentially to be played here. But taking a look at our second game, we will have Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime, which is a very, very interesting next choice here. Normally you do see zones on this, but Clam Blitz is a good choice as well. Obviously it is a very flat, very open land here, but it is just something that they will have to work with. And since I am the solo commentator, I'm basically just speaking to the audience here, just basically speaking to the void here. So anything that might interest you, we're gonna do like a very, very quick I guess quick Twitch read. I mean, just like because we're just chilling here. But actually, nope, never mind. Psych, just kidding. We're just hopping straight into things. Game number 2 between these two teams. Let's see if there's any major comp changes between them. We will see the interesting double sword coming out from one side, and on the other, I believe the same similar comp coming out from Lego FORTDAY here. But yeah, we will see Brendan on that mid to Cafeteria and Soda on that Splatana, and you also see Karma still sticking with that Crab as well, and Crab can be such a vital special in games. We saw it how well it did in Robo Ramen, but especially in Barnacle and Dime, that Crab v Crab duel. We can see how just the constant artillery fire and the pressure that you can really apply onto either side is key. And we also see far apart, we see it right here. We see how well that Crab has been able to do, but taking him down with the splash, the weapon itself still managing to stay within things. Taking a look at the clam economy between both teams, Lego FORTDAY do have the the clam advantage, excuse me, here with 14 compared to 5s, but still the map is all lime green, but not yet, as Ode to Joy will find 2 with that stamp. This is what Barnacle and Dime is made for. These specials, the Crab and the stamp, really thrive in such a flat area such as mid on Barnacle and Dime, because there's nowhere to hide at all in those specials. Once they get an eye on you, you are as good as gone. But Closure on the side of Lego FORTDAY will be the ones carrying that ball with the cooler as well. So now an opportunity may present itself for Lego FORTDAy to go in, especially if 3 Cafeteria members go down in the backline. Now Far Apart also has a ball. Keeley, 2 members of Lego FORTDAy have balls now, so this could be a very huge push, getting it down to 80, and there's the second one down to 60 now. Now with 2 players still standing, Lego FORTDAy's push is still not yet over, as the jumps could come in to maybe open things up, but the clams actually are still coming in from Lego FORTDAY to at least knock it down to 54. Goji on this 10 umbrella still manages to find one. The 10 umbrella as well is another weapon that really thrives in these such flat areas, because that shield can provide so much protection, especially if it travels in a straight line. There's no angles you really have to worry about, and it's easier to play around. But with that, we're seeing a little bit more of a neutral stance as Cafeteria tries to retake things here. The minute Cafeteria does go down, but the bubble is placed to at least create some space. But why create space when you have Umbrella quickly mowed down by that crab tank on the side of the Cafeteria by Karma here? You see both sides having that crab, and right on cue it seems Lego FORTDAY will get their crab up, and you see it providing so much fire. And there's the stamp. Watch out for Ode to Joy, because they can really shut things down here. It's not careful, and just like that, the ball is lost. The ball is picked, but two members of Cafeteria go down. So now a little bit of a momentum shift as Lego FORTDAY will try to get back into the swing of things. 2 balls are available for the Cafeteria. One of them, though, is right in front of all the members of Lego FORTDAY, so you can assume it will dissipate, but they still have their pity. So all they really have to do is get this team fight win, and they were able to jump back straight into things. A little bit less than half the match remains, but that's still plenty of times if you're talking in Splatoon terms here. But beautiful pick there from the S-Blast, maybe the counter that they're looking for to that 10 umbrella that's been really providing them struggles. But you see the Booyah Bomb also available, maybe to try to open things up. Keely, you see both Smatanas have their stance, they think they're deadly, but the camping, not the camp, the shark from Goji will take down that player. 3 players down for Lego FORTDAY, so now Cafeteria have an opportunity to strike, and striking they are. Karma being the one to break open that basket, and the clams are floating in. You see that pity being popped as well, trying to jump in. Will it make it in time? No, it is dropped right there, but actually quickly picked up by that mid-to Cafeteria, and a quick wipeout will ensue. But the Cafeteria now with a quick lead switch, now in the driver's seat of things. But this is the beauty of Clam Blitz, especially on Barnacle and Dime. It is so easy for things to turn on you. You go from attack quickly to defense so fast. It is such a volatile mode that this is what we see. We see very, very fighty areas, and we are seeing it now as all members of Lego FORTDAY are on this left stack. 2 players down for the Cafeteria, so now this is an opportunity for the members of Lego FORTDAY to get back into things. Goji and the rest of the members of Lego FORTDAY have the clams. They are just flowing it on. 45 seconds left. Cafeteria really need to get onto these players and fast, but losing 2 members is not the way you do it. 3 players now down as Lego FORTDAY were able to punch through that defense that Cafeteria made in stride, as Cafeteria now have to scramble as they are very much staggered. And just like that, the killing blow from that ball now evening things up 1-1. We are in for a treat of a set here, as now it is basically best of 3 if you want to think about it, because now with both teams up 1-1, we are looking at a very interesting set for sure. But yeah, the main things I wanted to highlight from that were the 10 umbrella play plus the 2 crabs on both sides. I mean, we saw crabs on both sides, we saw stamps on both sides, so those specials have just been so vital for how either team likes to operate. It's just that Lego FORTDAY were able to keep that ball rolling when they were near Cafeteria's goal, and that was ultimately what led them to that success. But shifting away from that, game number 3, Rainmaker Undertow Spillway. Now this map mode is very, very interesting. Obviously, with most Rainmaker maps, usually the first checkpoint is very easy, but second checkpoint is also very hard to get through because of the little delay, because of how just difficult it is to push through because of the elevation disadvantage that you have. But yeah, you really just have to really play to your specials advantages. But jumping straight into things, game number 3, we are just still rolling. It is just me still. We are gonna keep rolling. My voice might be dead by the end of the set, but I do not care. I'm all here for it. Brendan switching over to that gal, which is very, very interesting to see. I like that comp switch because it allows for that wall a little bit more fighty as well, especially in these narrower areas that this map provides. Taking a look at everything else, I believe everything else remained the same, as we do still see that S-Blast coming out from the Cafeteria, and you see the Krabby Crab duel here between Karma and Far Apart. Let's see who will come out on top of that. Both sides actually losing their Splatanas. This is very interesting and very just how both these teams like to set up here, and it's just really even matchup so far. And just like that, Karma will be able to take the first checkpoint, and the rest of Cafeteria are still moving the ball here and still going through, managing to get it to the 20-point mark as Lego Fortnite were caught a little bit by surprise there as Cafeteria saw a little opening. They were able to roll through, and now that is a very, very, very large lead to come back from. And on that note, hey Keon, welcome back.
Hey, I am back finally. I had to wrestle with something from behind the scenes, and somehow something infected my side. Thanks for carrying me. Thanks for carrying us through. Where are we? 1-1 being the set record, as we do see far apart with a very fitting Rainmaker grab there. As we do see 18 points cashed in, as we saw from the Cafeteria from earlier. Far apart is going to be the one carrying this Rainmaker onto this right hand side, and does go down with it. And Rocket, I'll give you as long as the break as you need here, buddy. After you spoke a lot. But real quickly, what have I missed so far after whatever happened on my end happened?
Yeah, so basically game one was pretty much a toss-up between both sides. I mean, we saw how Cafeteria were able to eventually pull through their use of just very clutch specials at the end. Game two was much different tempo here, as Lego Fortnite were able to really pull away with their shred of having that 10 umbrella, having that crab, and just using it that little much better. But so far both teams are pretty evenly matched, Gion, and we're seeing it here. But we see how so far Cafeteria taking that early pressure, so that might be all they need to really hold on to. They can really just sit back and relax, but you can't relax too much because in an instant things can change fast.
Things can definitely change fast. Thank you for the quick recap here. I got myself all reoriented here. We do see Oat. That's a great name. Oat to Joy, but throwing that Ultra Stamp onto that right-hand side. Not able to find the pick there. We do see the Rainmaker quickly picked up. They're moving on to that left-hand side of the map. As you do see, everybody's going to start collapsing onto them. It's going to be 3 down. Make that 2 down on the other side as well. It's going to be a bit of a brawl fight here as they try to go cash in on that first checkpoint as soon as they did. It's not going to happen so far, though, as that Rainmaker is going to leave where it stands. As we do see the nice little recovery here from the Cafeteria. They prevented the check from being cashed in. Nice little pick there as well with the blaster taking out Ode to Joy on that process. Far apart is also going to go down. Make that a double, make that a lead triple. That was incredible from that blaster player, and at that stage it does build up a little bit more space, and now things are about to be in the Cafeteria's favor. They're going to try to go for another return push, looking possibly for the KO. They got a lot of time left here on the clock, Rocket, to do that.
Yeah, that S-Blast play just really opened things up for the Cafeteria, who could potentially just go straight for a knockout. They don't want to leave anything up to chance, and I do not blame that at all, but this 10 Umbrella Goji has been so dangerous in these situations for Lego FORTDAY, not only as an offensive player, but just of how much presence they have with that shield. That shield will go away, but a quick Zuka pop-up will find two. A very, very nice shot onto the Rainmaker will force Cafeteria back and will force the route. Now, what a defense, and a much-needed one now as time is winding down. Still a minute and 20 left to work with, but Lego FORTDAY need to start by looking at that checkpoint.
They're going to need to start looking at that checkpoint as soon as they can here. Rocket, as you mentioned before, time in this case is not going to be on their side because they got to clear out the first checkpoint and a whole lot more. Shout out to the Zuka shot, by the way, making sure that defense was as solid as they could at that stage of the game. Things could have went from bad to worse there in a hurry if the Cafeteria is able to move far up, but it doesn't look like that will be the case. But here's the problem, though. Lego FORTDAY needs to make it to the other side and actually cash in on that checkpoint. The defense that the Cafeteria is putting out there is pretty rock solid so far, as you do get to see everybody's just throwing the paint onto this crab tank. They're throwing the booty ball. The entire kitchen sink is thrown into the crab tank as we speak, and that's just gonna put that crab tank further and further back. Lego FORTDAY still trying to regain any semblance of control that they desperately need, but now the crab tank is going to be returning back for the Cafeteria, trying to paint for that middle hand side. Can they get any sort of push going? That's going to be the ultimate question here from Lego FORTDAY. The Cafeteria is doing their best to prevent that from happening with about 17 seconds left to go on the clock. The Rainmaker's going to reset. Now the Lego FORTDAY has to be the one to pop it. The Ultra Stamp can't get anybody else, and it's 10 seconds left. The respawns will likely not favor them, and 2 members have gone down as well. This should be the Cafeteria's game to hold. They just got to make sure that Lego FORTDAY doesn't have an advance to do that. Thank you, Rocket, for taking you to the first 2, and I'd say to cap it off in game 3, it's going to be 2-1 for the Cafeteria.
Yeah, what a hold by Cafeteria. They got that first initial push down to the 20-point mark. Just some nice movement technique. I mean, just squid roll after squid roll after squid roll. It was just a narrow opening, just dodging ink left, right, and center. They managed to get it down to 18, and they never looked back at all. I mean, we saw for most of that game, it was just a wave of yellow in that mid here, and Cafeteria punched right back. Now, it is down for game 4 now. Cafeteria looking to win any gentleman's sweep. Lego FORTDAY trying to keep things alive. And what a next map we have for us. It is Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy. Now this map, in terms of tower control, it is an uphill climb, quite literally, as you're moving up with always being in an elevation disadvantage if you are the pushing team.
And that's the big thing, and that's why this map is very infamous for the second checkpoint being so difficult to break, because once you hit that elevation disadvantage, it's going to help favor the enemy team. They're going to be the one to just collapse onto you guys the entire way through. Also made it worse with the fact that there's not many entry points to make happen. So what both teams need to do, especially with Lego FORTDAY coming into this game 4, is how do you take control of plat so you can secure the second checkpoint? That's going to be the ultimate question here today. We do see the S-Blast back again from Dankdog. Dankdog did a great job with the delayed triple that we saw from the previous game. On the other side, we do get to see the Crab Tank, pretty much almost very familiar weapons you get to see across the different metas that have been played. I'm going to be curious to see how the Wiper duel between the Cafeteria and Lego FORTDAY plays out here, Rocket.
Yeah, Brendan, yet again, still sticking to that gal, which I like a lot here, but still keeping to their standards here. Really, the only differences between both these teams is either choosing that S-Blast if you're Cafeteria or 10 Umbrella if you are Lego FORTDAY, just how these teams like to operate. But like you mentioned, this duel between the Vipers and the Splashes is going to be key. You see Soda already trying to make their presence known, already onto this side, trying to find a pick with this stand. Won't quite find it, but the damage is already done, at least just scaring away the members of Lego FORTDAY, as 2 members were able to be cleaned up. And yet again, 2 members are down from Lego FORTDAY as Cafeteria try to continue to roll, but just like that, in a blink of an eye, 3 members of Cafeteria just disappear.
Yeah, but the big thing though for the Cafeteria is they cleared the all-important second checkpoint. That's just a huge uphill to climb, or a huge mountain to climb rather, when you play this map on offense, because that second checkpoint is so difficult to break through, and the Cafeteria got what they needed to get. But now Lego FORTDAY, they got plenty of time left on the clock to basically break through and get even more points on the board. Where does it start? They got an Ultra Stamp that is ready to go at the wings. The 10 Umbrella is going to go down. They may have to wait just a bit more, but no, they're just going to go ahead and pop it from where they stand. And Ultra Joy is trying to go for the chase. It is a double Ultra Stamp chase and ends with 1 member down on the Cafeteria's end, but there's not going to be really much in the way of follow-up here. It's going to be a slow brawl on the side. The tower just resets back to mid when this fight plays out. And Rocket, kind of a very intriguing fight for the side, but the tower resets back to mid.
Yeah, it was an all-out brawl there on that right side. It was really hard to keep track of, but still, in that position, Cafeteria are able to maintain control of the area. Never mind, as soon as I say that, Joy has something to say about it with a quick double, trying to look for the triple, not quite finding it. This S-Blast being the last player standing has to throw a Booyah Bomb just to try to hold things. We'll actually find far apart in that, and continuing to find another as well. We are seeing clutch individual plays from both sides here from different members, and I just love to see it, and it just shows how mechanically skilled these players are and how clutch these teams have been.
Yeah, I mean, Dankdog just been on a mission there with that S-Blast. You never discount that S-Blast, especially with the buffs to the Booyah Bomb, even if there is no bubble in play here. As you do get to see Soda just trying to make something happen here with the ult. Does take out the sniper. That's actually a huge pick there, but as it takes out the pencil, one of the main cooler option in this side. But Ultra Joy is there with that ult and takes out the 52, and the rest of the Cafeteria has been split apart and completely denied. And that's a nice little recovery here from Lego FORTDAY. They still need to hold that defense. They only lose a mere 4 points in that push alone. They're going to have another chance to rebound back, but for Lego FORTDAY, again, where does the first push start? They've once again lost another fight here in mid, and the Cafeteria could be rebooting for another push.
Yeah, I feel like during this game, Keon, we've just called like one player on one side getting like a quick double, and then on the other side, just within a matter of seconds, a quick triple. We're seeing it yet again right here. Yep. Lego FORTDAY with a quick response will knock out 3 members of the Cafeteria, and now we'll finally get towards that first checkpoint. They will allow themselves to have still a minute 40 left to work with here, so plenty of time, especially with that Crab and Zuka being simultaneously popped here, just to provide covering fire for Closure, who is that designated tower rider. But you do see the cooler also being played as well, so now Lego FORTDAY continuing to try to snowball it, but just like that, 2 members gone for Lego FORTDAY.
Remember, is gone. That was the wiper. That was the pencil. But they all got the cooler out. That was the big thing that they needed to grab. But Soda is going to be on another mission by themselves there. And in fact, takes out two there, which is going to slow down this push, forces the tower back to mid, and then the rest of this capture. There again, and what's the critical defensor that stops the push from happening? The other team is trying to respond back the other way, and then they're being denied once more. But the crab is in a perfect location for Far Part to pressure out the cafeteria. Both wipers are down in the mutually assured destruction battle. As you do get to see this tower being heavily contested, but everybody is throwing everything into this tower push. The Booyah Bomb is a defensive Booyah Bomb that is going to ultimately matter. The second checkpoint is cleared, but Rocket with 37 seconds left to go on the clock. Lego FORTDAY still has life, but they gotta win out these fights now.
Yeah, that Booyah Bomb was placed in such great position that it covered so much area. Now, I don't know if we're still working. I think we're working with the new updated Booyah Bomb, and the area was buffed from the Booyah Bomb a little bit. I believe by, I think, 5%. So maybe that is just how big the Booyah Bomb is now. But it covered so much space that it was really able to operate. But with nearing 10 seconds left, time is running out for Lego FORTDAY in this set. They need to jump on this tower and fast if they want to stay in it. Closure has the cooler to be popped, but it won't even matter if no players can jump on to contest it, and it won't look like there will be any contest, as Cafeteria will win in a gentleman's sweep 3-1.
3-1 in a gentleman's sweep. And the reason why you didn't see the contest was they tried to contest a little earlier, trying to plant the crab at mid in both stacks, but the crab was shut down, and it just prevented any sort of pain output that was so desperately needed from Lego FORTDAY to make anything happen. It was such a valiant effort by them too. You saw how close they were to forcing a game 5 there, Rocket, and it just fell a little bit short. Cafeteria advances. I think we do have the other team ready to go here in Grants once that's all squared away.
Yeah, but good game from Lego FORTDAY. I mean, it was looking like a back and forth set, but then in that game 3, Cafeteria were able to pull away. But this is not to discredit Lego FORTDAY at all, because all of these games were really, really closely contested. I mean, that one was only won by a margin of around 10 points. But now Lego FORTDAY will face Triggerfish Zone Supremacy in the 3rd place matchup there. But moving on to our grand finals, our 1 and 2 seeds will meet. Healthy Diet Food Groups just won 3-0 in a sweep over Triggerfish Zone Supremacy. That's why TZS is in the 3rd place match. And you just saw Cafeteria take down Lego FORTDAY. So this is going to be a very, very exciting matchup indeed for the winner of SOS 169.
Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun here at this stage. And before we talk about grants, I want to shout you out, right, by the way, for covering me in the first 2 games. By the way, I'll pull the card here. My internet decided to not work anymore during the first 2 games, so that's exactly what ended up happening there. You pulled through. I was able to get the phone out and listen to you real quick while I was waiting for the thing to pretty much get back up. So I just want to shout you out real quick before you hit up grands.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the first time I've had to do that, so I just like improvised, like, oh, okay, and then I just like had to take like very short breaths and just like down a bunch of water real quick so I can like keep going. But yeah, glad to be here. Glad for you to be here. I mean, just so I can save my voice for tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, moving away from that, yeah, we are in grand finals now, and I believe we're going to be starting off on Zone Shipshape Cargo.
Yeah, I believe we are going to be starting off there on Zone's Shipshape Cargo Co. To our producer friend here, giving us that. And there should be a lot, but I want to talk real quickly about the first. About these 2 teams, especially I've seen Healthy Diet Food Groups from many different tournaments throughout. I'd love to see this team perform here in SOS as well. And the Cafeteria, we saw them earlier as well. What I was going to cover with the Cafeteria before, obviously my internet had other ideas. Rocket this was a collection of many different players that we saw, like Soda, Brendan, and Korean from many, or Korean. I don't know if I got that name right, and I'm struggling to get roasted by it later, or Korean in this case, but. No matter what, though, Cafeteria is pretty much made up of very familiar players you might have seen from many different teams. On that side, I love that the Cafeteria was able to pull that one off. Healthy Diet Food Groups, though, ultimately their biggest test in this weekly, especially with grand finals coming up. So Shipshape Cargo Co. Zones will set the stage here for us, Rocket. It should be a lot of fun to watch these 2 teams go at it.
Yeah, and it provides us a very interesting map. Now, with it being on zones, you really have two options. Either you're raining hell from above on those elevated platforms above the zone, or you're just in that mess in the mid there, in that bunker, whatever you want to call it, basically just a gladiator arena in the middle, and it is a no man's land in there if you dare to go forward for that. But taking a look at all the rest of these maps we have for our grand finals, TC Mako Mart will be our game 2, game 3 Rainmaker Manta Maria, game 4 if necessary Clan Blitz Gorge, and game 5 Splatoon Umami Ruins, a very nice closer if we will need it. But even if it goes to at least game 3, Rainmaker Manta Maria is definitely a map to keep your eye on.
I was gonna make immediate notes here. That game 3 map could be very interesting to see what both teams get to play. It's not a Rainmaker map you kind of see across many different places. Here in SOS, of course, it will get played, and it's kind of what when we get to the game 3, ultimately the state is, are we gonna see a team gonna have to figure out all the different strats here in that game 3 down 2-0, or will it be a 1-1 and effectively a best of 3 count? And that's really the ultimate question we're going to get to see right away. As you do can see, the Cafeteria on the Bravo side, Alpha side is D, Healthy Diet Food Groups. All right, take a look at the weapons right out of the way. Hello, Bamboozler. How are you doing here tonight?
What an interesting choice here, and we see those super chumps as well. Taking a look at the other side, we see Brendan yet again being that flexible player, switching over to Tri-Slosher. We saw, I believe, them not only play Splash, but also play Gal, and now going to that Tri-Slosher. Just a ace in the pocket that they have for the Cafeteria. But off to an early cap is Healthy Diet Food Groups here, but still Cafeteria is still here to answer, especially with Soda's Hamper, seeing to see if they can chase down Rice Ball, but Rice Ball will not be able to escape. And just like that, members of Healthy Diet Food Groups are forced back.
Yeah, just a little force back there, and the Cafeteria has a lot of great control past the zones at this stage, and I'm gonna be intrigued to see how they're gonna take advantage, because you normally see the Tri-Slosher Nouveau as a selfish cooler option. They're gonna go with the Vanilla, which has the Ancient and the Toxic Mist, so this is gonna be what you just don't normally see often, but in the right hands could deliver out so much value here. But Brendan may not even need it at this stage. The rest of the team is kind of doing their part here, Rocket, with 2 members going down, and now just a Bubble and Trip Strikes are available from the Healthy Diet Food Groups that they can take advantage of it, but they're so locked out back in their own base. I don't know if they can break through. They're gonna have to use the Trip Strikes to kind of spread everybody out at this stage, but Brendan has popped the Ancient so far, and the zone stays in the Cafeteria's end here, Rocket.
Yeah, Rice Ball trying to make something happen with that Zipcaster, but not quite able to find it. Dangdog finds a quick double with that S-Blast. We saw how on that previous set they did their damage, and yet again doing it again to secure that win for Cafeteria. 1-up in grand finals. What a start.
What a fantastic start for the Cafeteria, and just pushing Healthy Diet Food Groups all the way back. You didn't really even need the Pocket Vanilla Tri-Slosher pick. Just kind of play your game, and that's what the Cafeteria has done. And Dank Dog, of course, we talked about them in the previous set. They're just doing wonders with the blasters, just once again doing their part. We don't be surprised if we see that blaster come out here in game 2 and make him our tower control for Dank Dog, because that could deliver a lot of value, especially with the way this map geometry is laid out.
Oh yeah, this is the map for blasters, for buckets, and especially the Booyah Bomb is going to provide so much value. Basically doing the same thing Trip Strikes will do. Now, just taking a look at shifting away from the maps in general, I'm just realizing this is a food fight. I mean, we have the Cafeteria versus, I saw Rice Ball, Pineapple, and I didn't quite see, I believe, Walnut, and I forgot what that last player name was, but we are seeing a food fight grand finals for SOS here, Keon.
I feel like when I think back to the old days in the Cafeteria, they always taught us about having a proper diet, of course. With the different that food pyramid you probably remember back in those days.
Yeah,
that's kind of what this combination is kind of reminding me. We'll talk more about that here in a bit, because both teams are kind of just wasting no time. They just want to get this SOS done once and for all. Hey, by the way, Pineapple and Walnut, which by the way, those are 2 awesome names right out of the gate. Carbon Roller Deco and that Zeko Firefin scope. By the way, Trip Strikes and Double Zuka in play, but no cooler option from the Healthy Diet Food Groups this time.
Very interesting indeed. 2 members just like that from Healthy Diet Food Group are taken out I believe, from the Crab and the other members of the Cafeteria, but I believe that's also now a delayed wipe, as well as now Healthy Diet Food Groups are chugging along towards this first checkpoint and will take it with ease. Milk Bread is that last member that I forgot. It is Milk Bread, so thank you for that little reminder there. Now Rice Ball trying to make something happen with the Zipcaster, making me hungry just saying these names, Keon, but still trying to chug along is Healthy Diet Food Groups. They will actually find one, and with 3 members down, they are still rolling, but not if Soda has something to say about it.
Soda's just trying to get anything going with that Ultra Stand, because this push once more getting out of control past the second checkpoint, but just not able to break that one through. And what a great start for the Healthy Diet Food Groups here. Probably making sure that everyone gets a midnight snack, a healthy one in that matter. Hold though with a nice little snipe there onto Karma. That was a beautiful snipe. Onto the splash. It's actually going to slow the splash down just a little bit more. Trip Strike's finally used for zoning, and here you see Rice Ball trying to dive right in with that Zipcaster. Actually using that main weapon to just kind of fire from range. Kind of don't normally see that. Usually see the Zipcaster play very aggressive, try to slash a player in half with that sword, but so far just opting to use it as a zoning weapon at the end of the day. So far though, Rocket, this tower just resets back to mid and possibly a push from the Cafeteria.
Yeah, Keon, this is their first push now with Karma on that Crab on the tower. They are looking to cap this first checkpoint, and unless any contest is going to happen, they're going to easily do so. However, not without loss, as 2 members do go down. So it is just left to this splash and the Gal really being in the area of it. Karma is still here though, still being that Cafeteria member standing, trying to just dodge all of these shots that are coming out from Healthy Diet Food Groups. That Tri-Strikes is at least disrupted a little bit by Brendan, a wonderful disrupt there, but still moving along Cafeteria slowly but surely. But so far, Healthy Diet Food Groups are making them fight for every inch.
Yeah, and Healthy Diet Food Groups is trying to slow them down right now, but they lose 2 at a critical moment. But so does the Cafeteria, but everybody's kind of put out of position, and Rice Ball is on top of it, but they lose lead. They lose lead when Brendan regains control of the tower, and that lead was swiped so well, Rocket, that we unfortunately were not allowed to see the rest of the game play out here and make a tower control.
It was too beautiful for our eyes. We saw that flank coming in, and that would have changed the pace of it, but still, they were moving along the Cafeteria that was, so it remains TBD to see how that turns out. But we saw a very close matchup there, and we saw how these teams are adapting basically per game. I mean, we saw basically Healthy Diet Food Groups come in with almost a new battalion of weapons, and then on the other side, a little changes here and there, but still healthy ones. But I like these weapon choices that they are going with because it all makes sense, and I can see the vision of it.
Yeah, I kind of saw the vision that both teams had so far. We are trying to figure out if this was just a simple spec crash, which again we've noted earlier in the broadcast that this sort of stuff happens at the stage. But I love what both teams were ultimately dishing out there. Of course, I think with the way Dankdell was just going to use that S-Blast to utter perfection, and also the Stamper really being used as a zoning weapon was kind of an interesting use of it. Again, I know it from before. You just normally see them play really aggressive with it as much as they could, but trying to use it to get picks from distance is kind of an intriguing use of it. Obviously, what we saw before we had that unfortunate moment there, Rocket, was the lead changed hands, so we kind of were about to see it back and forth in the way tower control the mode itself kind of lends to. One speed at a time. We'll never exactly know the intricate details unless somebody just sends us pigeon mail and tells us, hey, by the way, this is how this game played out.
Yeah, pretty much. We need like a play-by-play record, but despite that, we, like you were talking about with Rice Ball using that weapon as just more of a long-range thing, maybe just trying to draw attention away from the rest of their team, not really trying to actually get a kill. I mean, obviously, if you did, then that would be amazing, but maybe just trying to draw away attention, not quite working out to it, because they were just able to really ignore and just go in on the other members of Healthy Diet Food Groups. But yeah, we really this has been a close match so far. We saw from tower control before, yes, of course, the unfortunate DC, but I wouldn't be fully surprised at all if Healthy Diet Food Groups punches back here and forces this basically to just turn back into a best of 3.
And I would love to see that too. Obviously, we won't know for sure, Rocket. We just need somebody to just get into a player's POV, hit the record button, the old camcorder style. You know how people are crying around tables at LANs. They're like, you got people with their phones out. They're just recording the footage as we speak, and we're hoping to get that sort of footage to us see how this plays out. But obviously, we saw the results do come in. It was the Cafeteria that did ultimately hang on to lead at the end of the day. So we unfortunately do not get the dreams of a 1-1 Rocket here in Game 2. Now we're going to have to get ourselves back in the lobby, I'd imagine. And then we got to figure out what both teams want to do in Manta Maria Rainmaker, which this was the third map we had our eyes set on once we got to this point.
And just taking a quick look at some little birdie and just taking a look at how that game turned out. Rice Ball dropped 15 kills. Like we saw that zip caster, that Splatana did damage for Cafeteria, but still Cafeteria were able to pull through. And like you mentioned, we are now moving to game number 3. Like you mentioned at the beginning of this set, Keon, this is a very interesting map mode, particular because it's not something we see often at all.
No, you just don't. You normally see other like Rainmaker maps be in this rotation. You see what I personally call the Final Destination Rainmaker maps, Undertow Spillway, usually making an appearance somewhere along the way. But here, it's Manta Maria Rainmaker, which you have kind of two paths you can go. You normally, if teams opt to be a little bit more aggressive, try to go for quick points, the right checkpoint is going to be there. Otherwise, teams will probably make a slow build up to the left hand side. Once you get past street, that's where things can get. That's where you can see game winning pushes be made. Now, for the Healthy Diet food groups, Rocket, of course, they're going to have to pull off the Fable reverse sweep if they want to win this particular weekly here. So I imagine they still got some tricks up their sleeves here coming into this Game 3. Cafeteria is just currently rolling right now, though, especially with the players that are just showing up.
Yeah, reverse sweeps are not that rare if you so think. I mean, obviously it's impressive to do, but it's not as rare as you may think. But it is something that they have to do here if they want to get this. Now they can only think about one game at a time, and it all starts on Manta Maria. And you see that Bamboozler coming right back out here. Very interesting comp. You have that Bamboozler, you have the Octa Shot for the strikes, you have that Carbon for sharking, and Rice Ball on yet again. That's Splatana Stamper, that 1-2 combo. And we will be delayed a little bit yet again, but still, I like to see the comps here. It's still, even the silver lining, we still get a minute to talk about what Healthy Diet food groups were running there.
I'm actually kind of curious how both teams with the cooler list comp that they got going, how this is all gonna play, because normally when you see coolers on the board, full aggression, just move forward, try to just and see if you can cash in on it. Both teams will have to probably play to their weapon strengths to avoid going down at inopportune times. That's going to be what I'm going to be intrigued to see here. And Rocket, with the way today's kind of been going, it feels like I'm watching a Crane game, just trying to take one player out, even the spectator's not even immune to it. They're just gonna you get the Crane over them, just yank them out of the match, and then just see how that goes. I know it's so far it's been a recurring theme. Please bear with the patience for us, y'all, as we're trying to work this through.
Yeah, it's been a little shaky, but we thank y'all for sticking with us, and we're just gonna hop right into things. Hopefully, take number 2 here, trying to stay alive, is Healthy Diet Food Group's Cafeteria up 2-0, and we will see if this will be the start of a comeback or just the end of this set, the end of this tournament, and a resounding sweep. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get right into the thick of things there. Both teams, I noted before, running a very cooler-less comp. We do see Duel of Zookas effectively here. So how much value can they get from their Zookas, and especially with those specific weapons in play, especially Healthy Diet Food Groups and the Carbon Roller Deco, and Cafeteria kind of sporting that Vanilla Splatter Shot, which again, Vanilla Splatter Shot getting some changes in the recent patch here that we're playing through, and sort of misjudges the jump. I feel like we made a lot of those back in our times here in Anarchy, and I feel like all I can do is sympathize as this game continues to let's leave it at that.
Yeah, it continues now. Cafeteria has to continue with that unfortunate fall. Now something else goes against them. They will lose a member to a DC, but because of how the rules are, I believe we are going to continue. But Brendan doesn't see a lost player as anything to just give up at all, because they are almost near that goal. But with a quick response, Healthy Diet Food Groups will get the wipeout, and now we'll chug along towards that first checkpoint now with that advantage constantly in their favor.
You know, perma 1 downs, you gotta play perfect the entire way through. Oh no! Okay, so what I was going to say, Rocket, is in a perma 1 down, you gotta play perfect the entire way through. In a perma 2 down situation, I feel like you just gotta put the controller down and then just say, gee, go to next map. But I gotta appreciate Dankdog just trying to get picks along the way. You know what kickstarted all this stuff out here, Rocket? It's gotta be the misjudged jump. That jump must have angered the Manta Maria gods at this stage. The Manta Maria gods were not happy about that jump whatsoever. They decided to yank 2 players out as punishment for not nailing that jump whatsoever. That's the only theory I have at this time, Rocket, in this 4v2 situation.
I believe it 100%, Keon, but with that quick wipeout, it will lead to a quick victory if anybody can jump onto that Rainmaker real quick. Pineapple will jump on it and fall straight onto that goal. Now 1 game up for Healthy Diet Food Groups, maybe just a 1 given. So now no more sweep, but potentially a reverse sweep will go in them. Maybe, however scuffed it may be, they will definitely take it for sure. As now we are moving on to game number 4. And this is usually, and we've seen a very bumpy road in this stream, but we are still rolling. We are still hyped here, as hopefully we'll have a fair 4v4 in game 4.
So hey players, if you're playing on Scorch Clan Blitz, please do not anger any Clan Blitz deity out there. Do not anger the entire desert. You don't want to do anything wrong. Fundamentally, when you play this map, they're gonna yank you out, as you saw from earlier there too. The Manta Maria Rainmaker deities were very angry at the cafeteria. They punished 2 players out of the picture. And I feel like this is the first time I can finally say that I've seen a Rainmaker get slammed from the great side. I know that in a 4v2 it feels like you may as well just do it for style, but Healthy Diet Food Groups mercifully ending that game 3. Everybody has to start from a clean slate somewhere, Rocket, and hopefully Scorch Clan Blitz stabilize stuff, which, by the way, I kind of like this map mode combination overall.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not as like easy to really traverse either, to like really come back from. I mean, you saw, at least when we were looking at Barnacle and Dime in the previous set, it was very easy. Like, once a team got their push in and got wiped out inevitably by the other team, it was really easy for that team to just turn the tide in an instant and move toward that other team's goal. Now, obviously, Clan Blitz, that it normally happens a lot, but specifically in Scourge Gorge, it is really difficult to push towards that goal because you obviously have that elevated tower on that right side of the goal that really provides just such an elevated view that the defenders can really work with so much, that you need to have specials such as tri-strikes, such as a bubble to really work through and punch through.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be intrigued to see how both teams approach this map overall. Obviously, Capture, they just had to deal with 2 players getting yanked down in game 3. So in game 4, now they can bring the full roster, try to get everybody regrouped here, try to get themselves back into the lobby, all things considered. So I think that's ultimately step 1 to it. And then Healthy Diet Food Groups, maybe given some extra life there in that situation, now you got to figure out how to capitalize here and force a game 5 in Scorch Clan Blitz, and we kind of saw some good things there from Healthy Diet Food Groups in the first 2 maps for sure. This one I'm going to be intrigued to see what they want to dish out here. Obviously, we can't really draw any conclusions from game 3, so I want to see how their adjustments play out, and especially right now.
Yeah. Maybe we see that Bamboozler come out yet again. I just love to see different weapons being played, and obviously Bamboozler is not something we see at all. There it is again. Let's go. Double sword as well. Very interesting. You see that mid to Cafeteria is there for that bubble. Like I mentioned, they're running that bubble tri-strikes, so that is going to be key to them getting into the side of Cafeteria. Taking a look at Cafeteria, they're going back with Brendan on that 52 gal, and we will not be hopping into it. Psych, the DC gods are not yet pleased with us. Hold on, folks.
So all I can conclude from our experiment here, Rocket, is now I think because I've enacted the words here in Scorch Clan Blitz, it's all on me. Apparently, I have jinxed everything here with the cameras and everything else that we now have to yank the spectator out. You guys will not be able to see anything. Is apparently the conclusion. Obviously, if this is a spectator cam crash, they're gonna have to play out this game for it. Kind of a very unfortunate scenario here at Rocket too, because it's like this is basically tournament point here for the Cafeteria. We won't be able to see what's happening, so we have to just rely on whatever footage whatever footage exists out there. Maybe somebody has the camcorder running in the background to figure out how this all plays out.
Yeah, I believe I'm taking a look at one of the Cafeteria streams as well. They crashed as well. One of the players crashed, so my eyes in the sky, at least somewhere else, got shot down. That pigeon flew into a building somewhere, so I can't keep an eye on it either there. So it is really up to anybody to see what's going on as we stand by here. I don't know if they're still playing that out. Assumedly they're not because of that player disconnect, but please be patient with us.
So what bird would take us Splatoon player out of the equation in a desert like Scorch? That's the ultimate question now. Is it just, maybe it was the pigeon? Maybe that pigeon was going to the desert well. But what other birds would. That's
the bird. My pigeon probably got taken by a vulture. That's probably it.
Okay, so it's actually just the vulture. No, it's actually just the pigeon taking one, and the vulture just also took a second one.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're hearing it here that Scorched Gorge is home to a lot of birds. Mm-hmm. The pigeon took us out. The pigeon's like, no, you're out of there. The vulture from what you said, the vulture took a member of the cafeteria out of the picture.
Yes.
So now we're kind of just running. What you're gonna say here is that now you're gonna tell me there's a bunch of other vultures, maybe pigeons, maybe some other random birds that are gonna show up here, and they're just gonna slowly yank every player out one by one.
One by one for sure. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. I'm sitting pretty in this fictional commentator booth.
They already did it to me. They already did it to me in the setup house. The bird just pulled me away.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like mid commentating. I'm like, oh, there goes Keon. Hold on, we gotta go get someone to go get him back. And it even took our spec out sometimes. So I'm assumedly next on that chopping block. Hopefully not gonna happen here.
we need you here as much as possible here, Rocket. We can't afford to lose more people, especially in the production booth. We're trying our best out here too.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't jinx anything, please.
Yeah, we have, believe we have like 4 staff members on standby just watching, just keeping the eye in the sky to make sure we don't get taken. But yeah, continuing with this, hopefully, yeah. I believe we're gonna just do a redo of this, if I'm not mistaken, just taking a look at things. I believe that entire match was canceled just because of that DC from that member of the cafeteria.
I have to remember, was it a member of, it's because in game 3 we saw the reset, we saw somebody lose and then we had the reset. I'm trying to remember which team had, but I'm also not going to infer any rules here, so I'm curious to see how this is going to all play out. Maybe they may have played on. We're just waiting to hear the official word from obviously the people telling us in their ears. It sounds like, I think from what it sounds like, Rocket, I think they are opting to replay the 4th game from what I'm gathering here. It looks like there's just a little bit of some behind the scenes shenanigans, we'll call it there, just being ironed out. But I think what we saw weapon wise, you were excited that the Bamboozler came out for sure, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I believe they ran that in game 1, Bamboozler double sword. I mean, that is just something you don't see, like Bamboozler double sword plus that Octoshot, obviously. We see more T-Tech and Octoshot now because of those buffs, and I'm not sure if they're just playing it with the assumption of it, but I like to see it more now with fierce competition with the Neo Splash. Obviously, we see a healthy mix of it now, but I just love to see Bamboozler. I mean, Bamboozler is a really fun weapon to just see and play, but yeah, hopefully we can see it soon with Scorched Gorge when we decide to load in, as we're just keeping an eye on the sky to make sure the skies are clear from birds, obviously. And I believe they're switching hosts as well, just to make sure that those birds are far away, maybe putting some bird feeder out on these sides just to distract them a little bit.
So what you're saying is that for some reason, so the theory we have here now is that somebody's playing Splatoon. They're right next to the bird feeder, and the bird got so happy that they needed to just start that they decided to call their friend birds.
Yes.
And then they decided like, no, we have to call an invasion now in this lobby. Invasion in this lobby now. And then they just started to mess with everybody here in the lobby as you speak. So hopefully we go to a much more bird-free environment. And yeah, as you mentioned before, we're just, switching out different hosts, just trying to iron out all the possible issues behind the scenes. I know this has been a an SOS of all time. I know some people are gonna know that we are doing our best, y'all. Hopefully, we do appreciate you guys sticking around here in Grand Finals. We will get a winner here in SOS 169 here shortly. But yeah, Rocket, I'm kind of excited to see how that Bamboozler plays. I think this is my second set that I've had to call a game where somebody pulled out the Bamboozler.
Yes, for sure. Yes, I am sticking with Bamboozler is fun. Yes, I do see you in chat. Yes, Bamboozler is fun. Bamboozler is fun, and you will not deny me from it. It is just just everything about the weapon, not only just like the sound design, is just really fun, and the concept of it. But I mean, I might be biased because I also play a bit of Squiffer. So, and then as like the side thing is like, I mean, it's that fast charging just weapon. I mean, before pencil was a thing, that was like the quick firing thing. But hey, but yes, this is an SOS of all time. Weapons are being picked, and just like that, we're hopping straight into things. Game number 4, part 3. Let's go.
Yeah. Now to get you guys recalibrate your team cafeterias on the alpha side. Now you can see the healthy dive food groups here in Bravo. No, there shouldn't be any weapon changes. I think both teams are already dead set on that. Double sword is gonna be the one I'm gonna be intrigued to see the most. Pineapple, of course, on that min decaf. Rice ball on that stamper. Gonna be curious to see how not only does Pineapple utilize the bubble and also the main weapon to its fullest extent, how the stamper kind of just plays out with the zip catcher. You can play very aggressive as you can. Of course, I have to call up both swords. One half of the sword group goes down, and so does that auto shot, I believe, going down as well. So it's gonna be a little bit of a slow burn for the healthy dive food groups. This gives the cafeteria time to build up clams.
Yeah, for sure. And now with that clam advantage, Cafeteria can really set up a push, especially with Karma. I keep saying their name over and over, and oh no, our spec got taken by the birds. No, not again. The birds got taken. We must have missed it. It swooped in. No.
What? Okay, so the birds were upset at the crab tank and the push that the Cafeteria had. The combination was the crab and the wall, and the birds were like, no, absolutely not. We're not doing this again. We found you guys this time. We're gonna fly over you and take and make sure you don't get to play this match either. This has been Rocket. What the game is telling us, and what the birds are indeed telling us, is we're gonna be here for the long haul at this point. It's gonna be close to midnight Eastern here for those staying out. Please, we love you guys a lot here too, and please stick with us. We will get a grand finals winner down the road.
Yeah, and it seems like, according to the spec, everyone got taken by the birds that time. The birds were definitely not pleased. It took everybody with them. So I think we're gonna get another
this time.
Yeah, I believe we're gonna get another redo yet again just because of that. Because oh my lord.
So what happened here? What event in the timeline did upset it? Not just the birds, but now the deities decided to double with them. I
don't know if you can hear this, but I think I have my theory. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hold on.
Black.
Okay.
I think it's because I've had my giant Affleck duck just near me this entire time. I think that might be the curse. I'm gonna go put it in the other room.
Stash it away. Also, we are not sponsored by
We are not sponsored at all.
We're not. We're not.
It's just something funny I have. Please don't sue us.
Please do not. Do not sue us.
It's this funny thing I have, trust me. But yes, I have a feeling it's just this giant duck plushie that I have. So I will not chuck it.
So here's what you do. What you do is you find a box, in the room or a drawer. Put the duck away. That duck is exuding all the bad energy in the world. Rocket, we're trying to we're trying to keep this game alive. We're trying to keep the tournament alive here.
My apologies. I will take the blame for that one. That one is on me.
The duck is cursing us here tonight. We can't afford to keep going.
That one is on me. I apologize for that. The Affleck duck will now be put in the forever box, forever put away. Now, we will hopefully move on for game number 4, part 4. I mean, it's kind of fitting, right? Part 4.
I don't know. We want to get. I don't think we need a part 5 to this story here. We want to keep it at 4.
Yeah, I mean, this has been, I know we keep saying it over and over. This has been the SOS of all time. This has been the block of all time. I mean, yeah. Oh my lord, it has been amazing. It has been amazing.
We're here for the long haul. We do, in all seriousness, we do appreciate you guys tuning in with us. I know this has been a very long, grand, and exhausting grand finals. Not just for us and the viewers too. The players, I imagine, are also going to be feeling the burn here too, with everything that's kind of been happening. Because we had game 3. Game 3 had the DC, and then we just decided, okay, we'll just give. We see the capture just throwing out the game 3 there, and then game 4 is we're just having a hard time making just getting anything stabilized here. And I know a lot of people want to throw out the memes here, about all this stuff. Sometimes this stuff happens. I know we're trying to I know things are just trying to get ironed out, but we do genuinely appreciate your patience. Stick with us in our little zaniness in our very zany block of the night.
Yeah, we are here for the entertainment. We are here to just keep y'all going, and we do really appreciate every one of you for sticking by. So thank you. And also to that one person who just hopped in, someone will explain to you what happened and what has been going on. So don't worry about it.
I think I know who. I think this is the person that is like, yeah, we're trying to get things all ironed out here ourselves. I see you over there, but Rocket, I can only imagine, especially Rocket. I'm not sure if you've been in this situation before, but I know for players who are stuck into these really long sets because of stuff outside of their control, this can get really tiring as well, especially for the people. Especially for the players in the U.S. Time zones, which I know there before too. It's gonna be close to midnight Eastern for the players out there, for any of the players that are out there. So it's gonna be a long night of SOS, and I'm sure they eventually want to go to bed. Either they have school or work the next day. So I imagine these players are just wanting to get this set done so that they can go to sleep if they're in the U.S. or for other people just trying to resume the rest of the day.
Yeah, for sure. And especially it doesn't help the fact that I believe we had to wait a little bit for maintenance as well. So this one is definitely extended.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely extended for sure. I mean, we can kind of feel the fatigue, you and I'm sure, but like I can't even imagine what the players are feeling right now. I mean, they've had to play like 3 hours or something, like 3-4 hours, like counting. They've just been going at it.
They've had basically it's been a long ride for a lot of people that are out here. Hopefully everything does the trick here into this game 4. Again, now we have to flip the sides this time. Healthy diet food groups this time going to be the Alpha side. Bravo side is going to be the Cafeteria. Part 4. Hopefully we keep it at Part 4. Rocket, don't you dare say anything else that can continue. Keep the duck trapped in its cage for now. Hopefully we can get ourselves set back up. Rocket, game 4 starts us. We're about 10 seconds in, and now everybody's going to start to gather clams and try to get themselves reorganized.
Yes, nothing has happened in the previous 15 minutes. Do not worry about it. This is do or die time for healthy diet food groups, and already they are showing it here with this aggression by Karma, managing to take out Pineapple there and getting all the clams for Cafeteria here. Cafeteria want to keep this going, want to get that gentleman sweep here, and yet again we see time and time again Karma putting that crab in such great positions, and with that Cafeteria strike first with that ball, but will there be any follow-up?
Yeah, that's gonna be the ultimate follow-up there. As I don't know if you saw that too. Did the Ultra Sams actually just miss one? Did they swim under it?
Because Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
If that happens to me, no, not again. No, and no. We'll look for that later. It's a perma 1-down situation for the Cafeteria. Now with the one and done push, this deficit continues on, and the lead effectively changes hands. We're not going to talk about the elephant in the room. The Cafeteria has to now play perfect from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, healthy diet food groups are now able to really operate with that ease of mind, but still, Cafeteria have not given up the fight at all. They are still pushing in, they're still going in, and inevitably, though, we'll most likely see a game 5 in this if healthy diet food groups can keep this push going, and they are managing to keep this push going with that wipeout on top of things.
Yeah, I imagine this could be the Cafeteria. They're going to opt to play this one. They're just going to try to still play after later. They're just going to give this one up and just say, all right, let's just move on to game 5. They're still going to play it out, which I can commend them for. But I think this is going to be the GG. Yeah, that's going to be the small clam. Rocket, this tournament continues on for game 5, and what feels like for the first time in a while, I'm not sure if anybody really is happy to make it to game 5 at this stage. We're gonna put the elephant out there in the room. I think the Ultra Stamp, the fact that we had to call it the silly Ultra Stamp tank, is just like, nah, we gotta pull somebody out from the Cafeteria this time, just because of that too.
I mean, this is like this feels scripted. I mean, it looks like a 3-0 script from 3-0 sweep from Cafeteria, and then we get this, and then oops, now it's all on the line for game number 5. But honestly, even if it's artificially manufactured, just like suspense for a grand finals, I'm happy that we're here in grand finals anyways. It makes the stakes more interesting, you know? I mean, hopefully we'll have a 4v4 for this though, Keon, of course.
It would be. I don't want to jinx anything here, of course, Rocket. I know. We have to keep this as much as we can. Obviously, we saw from that game 4 before that perma 1-down situation happened. There, Rocket was. It looked like the Cafeteria actually had a great momentum being built up. then that happened too. So now they're like, okay, now we just got to reset back. Maybe we'll have a chance if we play this one perfectly. They have to play basically a 4-minute defense with the perma 1 down situation, and that's obviously that's really hard to pull off. So, and the Healthy Daifuku just snatches lead, and then you just kind of figure, all right, we just gotta look forward to the game 5. The question now becomes, Rocket, is I guess it's now more player fatigue now has to really start settling in here for everybody else now.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess we can move to just taking a look at other things. I mean, if you want, we can take a look at the rest of how SOS 169 has turned out. I mean, taking a look at the Lantern bracket, my former team, actually, Distortion, will win that finals bracket. Shout out to y'all. Love y'all. In Mako bracket, Last Melody wins 3-1 over Oracle. And Hammerhead, that's still a fight that is still ongoing, but Sweet Espresso is up 2-0 against the 3 genders plus Sis. And obviously in Great White, we have the 2 versus 2, 2v2 in terms of set games here. In terms of games, I mean, oops, words hard, but Healthy Diet Food Groups versus Cafeteria. Oh no.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, we are indeed the last set to wrap up this SOS here too. I mean, I know it's been a long ride here as well. So we'll get to the game 5 here in just a moment, but. I mean, speaking of the other brackets that you've called out here, Rocket, I want to give a huge shout out to one of the collegiate teams that actually is participating in this SCAD Black team. I know I've covered collegiate in the past, and I love to see collegiate teams just participate in SOS, and they've actually did a pretty solid job in 3rd place in Mako. So that's a great experience for that group too. So we are okay. So we do have some news. We're just gonna wait and see how this plays out. We're gonna wait if it happens.
Yeah.
We'll keep. We do have word on how this is gonna play out, and we'll put it this way. I don't blame them. So let's just get this out of the way. Game 5 coming up here soon. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, let's just say there was an agreement made between both teams, but hopefully game 5, let's see a winner will be decided here between Healthy Diet Food Groups and the Cafeteria, and it's gonna be on Umami Ruins, the classic the classic 2-zone map here. Of course, it really allows for teams to there be more fighting, as Karma will be popping that crap early yet again. It seems like they are always that first special to be popped, but that crap is quickly shredded. A bomb kill as well to add on to the top of things, but Karma, being that last player from Cafeteria, will be forced back as Healthy Diet Food Groups will now position themselves for this lockout.
You know what's interesting about that the Healthy Diet Food Groups just dished out? It is actually just the stamper with the crab tank actually being used. I'm actually kind of intrigued to see how this is gonna play out for them. We do get to in this stage. So far though, 2 members going down. Cafeteria is gonna swipe lead. They do get a crab tank of their own. It's gonna be on the splash player this time. What I'm going to be intrigued to see is how they can keep this advantage up. They got that crab tank available, so they should be able to pressure them out if they choose to do so. But right at this stage, with about 65 points remaining, still counting down Rocket, Cafeteria is in very firm position here. Trip strikes are being dished out, and they do shut down the crab tank. That could be huge.
Yeah, Cafeteria now with control of the zones. One of the zones, though, will be flipped, and there's another. But we see Pineapple going nuclear there, managing to find almost 3 members of Cafeteria. And off of the back of that, now Rice Ball and the rest of Healthy Diet Food Groups will move forward. A nice pick onto Karma. Another one as well. We see Rice Ball going huge with the Stamper. You mentioned it, switching over to that Crab Stamper as well. Could provide a very interesting new wrinkle to how Healthy Diet Food Groups play. Now with Tri-Strikes available as well, they try to get this lead back.
Yeah, they could be getting the lead back there, especially if they lose that splash. And there's that Stamper, excuse me, the Ultra Stamp, not even the Stamper, just the Ultra Stamp being used in, and they swim right into the Splat Bomb. A little unfortunate there. Healthy Diet Food Groups, yes, they're going to be 1 down. This is going to be a staggered 3 down, and Healthy Diet Food Groups are going to retain both of these zones here. 39 points remaining and still counting down. There is still the Splat for the Cafeteria if they can choose to take advantage at this stage. And with about 25 points remaining and still counting, they shut down the Crab. This could be the game coming up here shortly here in this game 5, and it certainly will be. Just the Ultra Stamps alive. We come all the way home in SOS 169, the last set that will be played, and it will be Healthy Diet Food Groups taking this one home in the Great White brackets.
Just like that, Healthy Diet Food Groups a little bit of a scuffed reverse sweep, but a reverse sweep nonetheless, as that game was fairly played out 4v4. But GG's to Healthy Diet Food Groups, GG's to the Cafeteria. I mean, GG's to both of these teams for just sticking through this. I mean, I'm sure they're like, you know what, I'm just heading to bed. I'm just happy that this is over, like you mentioned. But yeah,
I know a lot of people will probably write out the things about what happened in this particular SOS, especially with the Cafeteria starting off 2-0, then all the momentum kind of got sucked out. We've got to note this out here from earlier. Player fatigue and player exhaustion will start to settle in. You can tell people are just going to start ripping their hair apart, and at this point they're just like, we just want to be done with this. Chances are too, Rocket. So I think ultimately they put it out on the line. Healthy Diet Food Groups did come out on top when they needed it most. And hey, you take that 3-2 set. You say, and you can at least say you won SOS 169. But Cafeteria, there's nothing to look down for. This was just a long slog to the. This was just a long slog to the finish line. Just ran out of steam at the end. Obviously with the way this kind of played, I know there's going to be some words out there, but the Cafeteria honestly just played really, 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 really well given the circumstances.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, they fought hard no matter what. GG's to both these teams. I mean, I've said the Cafeteria, they clawed their way through it, and you've already touched on it perfectly, Keon. Just the player fatigue, I'm sure that was the major factor into them just barely just dragging themselves at the end there. But still, Healthy Diet Food Groups with that win here. Obviously, people will have their words about what went down. People were saying, like, probably Cafeteria are winners in the hearts. I mean, who knows how that could have turned out if we did have a full set, but this is the results we're going with. So congratulations to Healthy Diet Food Groups. And still, yet again, thank you all for watching this very, very interesting swimmer sync, the swimmer sync of all time for sure, Keon. But we will be winding down now, but of course, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me, Blue Sky, Keon2570, currently on a break from Twitch. Hopefully I'll return back for Thanksgiving. That's all I'm going to note about that one. Rocket, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Blue Sky at rocket_splats. You can also find me chilling out on the Discords, and that will basically do it for us here for Swimmer Sync 169. Thank you all for watching. Congrats to Healthy Diet Food Groups for winning. Shout out to Justin, our wonderful streamer in the background, who had to deal with getting kidnapped twice by birds, but he's still here with us. Thank you all for the staff who were fighting away the birds. I know a couple broke the lines a little bit, but y'all stood firm. Y'all held their ground, and I respect all you for sticking around for it. And you, dear viewers, thank you all for watching this Swimmer Sync 169. We will see you in the next edition.